Chapter 43:10. Maybe it's the fluctuation of the big array that has alarmed them. What should we do? Shall we hide down there? Summer morning road. We can't hide. They will notice something strange. We have to run away immediately. You are ready. We can't teleport. They'll take you away. Long Chen's face was serious because he felt the terrible threat. Boom, all of a sudden, the earth burst open, and the wings of the Kunpeng behind the dragon dust trembled. As soon as he came out of the earth, he saw countless powerful demons patrolling around. When the dragon dust flies out of the moment, these powerful demons suddenly roar and rush to the dragon dust. Damn Terran, I hate your breath. A half-step immortal demon strongman, with his foot on the void and one claw covering the sky, suddenly grabs the dragon dust 3. The power of one claw makes the heaven and the earth tremble, and the whole space becomes frozen in an instant. Xia Chen and Guoran's face changed greatly. The half-step imperishable power of the demon clan was similar to the immortal Xian tortoise they had met before. The vast killing plan had locked them in. They felt stiff all over, and they felt that they were going to disobey. The two people were shocked. I'm afraid that the half-step immortal power of the demon clan is not under the immortal tortoise. Buzz, behind the dragon dust, Kunpeng's wings tremble, holding Xiachen and Guoran, like a meteor flying away. Boom! With a bang, the place where the dragon dust is pierced by the strong demon's claw, and the gravel is agitated, but it's empty. That demon clan half-step immortal level strong person is furious. Long Chen unexpectedly does not receive his authority to lock, immediately catch up. Boom! Countless powerful demons roared and chased in the direction of Long Chen. Among the hundreds of powerful demons, there were dozens of Tianzuan levels, and the rest were Jiwanging. However, although the demon family is strong, it is not the opponent of Long Chen in terms of speed. The more they chase, the farther Long Chen disappears. Those powerful demons roared angrily, but there was no way. They could only watch Long Chen escape. Long Chen grabs Xia Chen and Guoran and flies all the way for more than half an hour before finding a remote place to have a rest. Good guy, thanks for running fast, or it's over. Guoran has a lingering fear. Why is that demon strongman so terrible? After its breath locks me, I can't move. Xia Chen was shocked. Fortunately, the boss is not afraid of its lock. Otherwise we will really hate on the spot. Damn, we have just made a lot of money. If we die like this, we will not be reconciled. Guoran hates the tunnel. Long Chen breathed a long sigh of relief, and he was also startled. The half-step immortal strong man of the demon clan was so terrifying. Fortunately, his soul was strong, his will was firm, and he would not be affected. Otherwise, if he escaped late, he would be really finished. Xia Chen and Guoran can't move after they are locked. This is the absolute suppression of the boundary gap. In Ninefold, they have never encountered such a situation, but here, the absolute suppression appears. Absolute repression is almost unbreakable, unless it can narrow the gap between the two. For example, if two people are promoted to the king of the world, this kind of absolute repression will offset a lot. Although they will be suppressed, they will not be so terrible. At least they can escape. Now, they are not qualified to escape. The strong here are too terrible. This is still a half-step immortal level strong. If it is immortal level strong, Long Chen does not know whether he cannot be affected. Long Chen has said before that the golden-winged devil and the colorful tortoise are the scattered cultivation here. Even the immortal strong are the worse ones. As a result, Long Chen is right. The real strong, even if they are half-immortal, are not what they can deal with. What's next? Shall we escape? Asked Xia Chen. Now that they have been found, they may face a large-scale search in the future. Now they can escape, maybe it's too late. Long Chen shook his head and said, I'm afraid it's too late to escape now. It's no different to escape directly. They will block the door as soon as possible. Xia Chen and Guoran are silent. Indeed, if they are the strong demons, they will hold the exit first and then catch them. The most important thing is that they are afraid that they will break the law of the void, and even the teleportation array will not be able to use at that time. At that time, there will be no way to go to heaven and no way to go to earth. What shall we do now? Asked Xiaqin. Don't worry about them. We continue to act according to the original plan. They can't catch up with me as fast as I can. As long as they don't surround us, they can't help us. Now that you've come in, you can't come in vain. You have to take more babies out and try to deal with them. Long Chen rode. Xia Chen and Guo Ran nodded, and Long Chen's speed was unparalleled. As long as they were careful, it was so big and so empty here. Looking for them was like looking for a needle in a haystack. Well, I'll arrange more transmission points so that there will be more hiding places and it will be easier to get away. Summer Morning Road. With these words, Xia Chen directly chose a secret place, arranged the transmission array, and blessed the magic array. If it was found or destroyed, he would find it at the first time. The three men continued to search for the ruins and arranged dozens of transmission points along the way. The more transmission points they had, the safer they would be. Finally, half a day later, they found another Terran relic, which had been completely destroyed. They did not collect any resources, but found a broken stone tablet. There is a map carved on the stone tablet. When they saw that map, they cheered. Because this map is too far away, many places have been blurred, but some terrain can be roughly distinguished. Soon, they found their own location and the location of Zhantianshenzong, which made it much easier to read the map. Zhantianshenzong is a super big sect, so it is represented by this big figure, and this sect is a small force. The figure is only the size of soybean. There are no words on the map, only some strange figures, and they have been blurred, but the three people still see some clues. The symbol of Zhantianshenzong is as big as a fist. It seems that the power here is distinguished by the size of the icon on the map. Boss, there is a place as big as Zhantianshenzong. Let's go there and have a look. Guo Ran points to a corner of the map and excites himself. Long Chen looked at the map. It was a long way. He shook his head and said, "There's no need to go there directly. Let's plan our route and try not to miss all the forces. The big clan is bound to be attacked. There may not be many things to keep, and the small clan may not have few things to leave. Since it comes, clean it up and try to keep the grains in the warehouse." Long Chen rode. Xia Chen and Guo Ran nodded, feeling that Long Chen's words were reasonable, and immediately began to take action. However, when they just arrived at the first site, the jade plate on Xia Chen's waist suddenly flickered. "Boss, that's interesting." Xia Chen looks at the jade plate around his waist, and a smile appears at the corner of his mouth. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4311, Why? Long Chen asked. "The array I set, the image you see," Xia Chen said, calling out a light curtain. In the light curtain, there appeared a group of figures who could not feel their breath, but from their body shape, they should be the strong ones of the monster family. All fairyland? Guo Ran was stunned. Although I can't feel their breath, I can see the crown behind their heads, which proves that they are all powerful people in fairyland. Buzz, as soon as the picture turns, another group of people appear. This is a group of strong people with great chi and blood. The whole body is full of blood and light, and their power is amazing. You can feel their power through the light curtain. Then the picture turns again, and a group of strong men with black hair appear. They look like the strong men of the underworld, but what they see is only images. They can't see the Buddha and can't determine their identity. This time, it's really interesting. All of them are strong men in fairyland. They regard us as hunting targets and use us for trial. A smile appeared on Long Chen's face. These array plates were set up in different places all the way in the morning of summer. They were used to find out the situation around them. Unexpectedly, the strong people here were also brave. They only sent the strong people in fairyland to deal with them. "Boss, let's meet them." Guo Ran is eager to try. He wants to try how strong the strong people who grow up here are. There's no need. We'll continue to explore treasure. If we meet them, we'll try. If we don't waste time looking for them. Long Chen shakes his head. They nodded. Although they wanted to compete with the strong here, it was important to get rich. The three men began to explore the Terran ruins, which was just a small clan. They only collected a little bit of inferior spirit stone, a few bone books and some pills. Although the harvest is not much, but let the 3 people see the hope, especially those bone books, can study well. The 3 men finished their exploration and went directly to the next place. On the way, they bumped into a team of hunters. When they saw the 3 men, their eyes lit up immediately and they shot directly. Boom! Guaran met a leader and smashed him with a fist. As a result, he was shocked by the man's fist and turned several somersaults. On Guaran's fist, the armor was changed. The man's body was even stronger than his armor. Boom boom. There in the summer morning, when you hold the seal code, all kinds of fu and zhuan fly out like petals. The fu and zhuan collide with those strong people and burst into pieces. The air waves swept across the sky. Xia Chen's fu zhuan script is very powerful. The last one of the most powerful in heaven is seriously injured even if he doesn't die. And in front of these strong people, although they were blown up in a mess and roared repeatedly, they could not cause fatal damage to them. Damn, what kind of people are you? Why are you so powerful? Guaran had a fierce fight with the leader. His armor was almost broken and he could not help roaring. Idiot, the mammoth family, slaughtered all of you in the First World War. The skull of the immortal and strong of your Terran is still hanging in front of the totem pole. You don't know us, the leader of the monster family sneered. Boom boom. The powerful members of the monster family waved their fists and forced Guaran to step back. Guaran was very surprised and angry. This guy is so strong that he is not an opponent at all. Are you the strongest of your generation in the world? Guaran dodged and yelled. Only an idiot can say such an idiot's words. I rank 7th in the kingdom of Tiangu Mammoth. I don't know how many people are stronger than me in the no man's world. You are just frogs in the well. That day, mammoth family strong sneer. Mammoths? It's no wonder that the mammoths are so powerful. It's lucky to meet you. All ethnic groups have already spoken. Whoever kills the 3 of you will be eligible for the baptism of Chaos I. Haha, I can't believe it's so easy. Tiangu mammoth people laugh. Don't entangle, solve the battle as soon as possible, so as not to be taken advantage of by others. That day, the mammoth family's strong voice. Boom boom. As he stopped drinking, more than a dozen strong people of Tiangu mammoth family roared, and the visions behind them appeared, which were the virtual shadows of giant mammoths. As soon as the shadow came out, these people's breath erupted like a volcano, and suddenly rose dozens of times. Dai, the leader of the Tiangu mammoth clan, broke off and called out the vision. He smashed the fist at Guaran, and the whole space became distorted. Pa! At this time, a big hand covered with golden dragon scales seized his fist, and it was Dragon Dust's hand. Long Chen's whole body is covered with golden dragon scales, and his vast force of qi and blood is like the tide of the sea. He firmly holds each other's fists, looks at each other with his eyes, and a touch of irony appears at the corner of his mouth. With your strength, how dare you speak up? You! That day, the powerful man of Bone Mammoth clan was frightened and angry. His body rune lit up, his arm expanded a circle in an instant, and his strength gushed like a tsunami. Boom boom. The earth under their feet was like a volcanic eruption, collapsing, and the violent air swept all over the sky. However, no matter how hard the bone mammoth made that day, his fist was still caught by Longchen, but he couldn't move. At this time, the face of the bone mammoth changed that day. Mammoth, in front of the dragon, is just a mole ant. Dragon Dust cold hum, big hands suddenly tremble. Poof, that day, the powerful man of Bone Mammoth clan screamed, and his arm was torn off by Longchen. Poof, as soon as Longchen pointed out, that day, the powerful man of the Bone Mammoth family was pierced by the colorful divine light, and his body fell down, instantly turned into a huge mammoth. The dragon's blood melts the tendons, but the dragon's power is more solid, and the dragon god's body refining technique is further. I don't know if anyone in the same level can surpass me in the flesh. Longchen feels the powerful power of the dragon, and his heart is full of ecstasy. Puff, puff, puff. Holding the 7-Ju sword, Long Chen killed the other Tiangu mammoth strongmen and solved everyone in an instant. With a wave of his hand, Long Chen put all the corpses into the chaotic space and threw them into the black soil. Someone's coming. Let's go. Long Chen says. Xia Chen takes out the array disc in a hurry. After a breath, the space calms down a little. Xia Chen's array disc glows, and the figures of the 3 disappear in an instant. In the 3 just disappeared, less than a breath of time, countless figures from all directions to kill, but they came a step late. In addition to endless blood on the ground, nothing left. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 43:12. How can they be so strong? Xia Chen and Guoran were shocked. After the 3 fled, they found a secluded place to rest. Guoran's armor was smashed to pieces, almost scrapped. If we were born here, we would only be stronger than them, but it doesn't matter. The congenital gap can be made up the day after tomorrow. See Summer Morning and Guoran was hit some depressed, Long Chen comfort way. Xia Chen and Guoran are also absolute masters in Ninefold, but here, they are beaten by a group of strong men of the same level. They are not happy at all. It seems that they have entered hell from heaven. They can't accept the gap. This is also the first time that Long Chen has fought against Tianjiao here. Now, Long Chen finally believes in the words of the dragon strongman. Among the same generation of Tianjiao, he is the top strongman, but here, he is no longer. The strong man of the Tiangu mammoth clan won't lie to him. He said that he ranked 7th in the same generation of the Tiangu mammoth clan, which only refers to fairyland. There may be more terrible existence in other realms. The Tiangu mammoth family in this world is only one of many races. In this way, I'm afraid there will be a lot of arrogant young people like him. Although the Tianjiao of that day bone mammoth family is not as strong as those of Dragon and Lotus, they can be compared with Yi Wuchen, Zhao Xingtian and others. You know, Yi Wuchen and Zhao Xingtian are both strong men who come from immortal families and gather endless resources. And how can such a strong man not be shocked in this world? This is just the beginning. Who knows what kind of terrible existence we will encounter later? The strong people in this world are really too strong. They are not on the same level with Nirvana. That day, the strongmen of the Bone Mammoth clan called this place uninhabited. They probably named it after killing all the Terrans here. Now we appear, and they begin to hunt us. Damn it, we'll be full of fire. When we are strong, can we kill all the other alien races? Guoran mended the armor and hated the tunnel. Guoran's armor can only be simply repaired so that he can maintain a certain combat power. Otherwise, he will have to run away when he meets such a strong creature again. It's very good. When the boss kills them, the hunters become prey. Then we'll see where their faces go. Xia Chen said with a smile. Don't just laugh. You've collected so many array discs. Haven't you found out the usage yet? Kill them with Chaos Stone. Guoran looked at the laughing Xia Chen, not very angry. Some of them have been studied, but many of them are disposable, and they are gone after use. I can't use it easily. Moreover, I don't have time to use it now. I can't get the recognition of heaven and earth. I can't help it. Summer Morning stall hands helpless tunnel. It's too cowardly. Are we going to be chased by them like rabbits? Guoran was a little upset. Obviously, he couldn't stand such cowardice. What's the problem here? If you are inferior to others in strength, you should know how to avoid them. Come on, don't complain. Next time you meet the enemy, let's search the soul and see their situation. Longchen wrote. Just now, in order to test the strength of the strong people here, we delayed some time. Although we killed these strong people, we didn't have time to search for their souls. We need to figure out many things before deciding on countermeasures. Because they were intercepted, the 3 men changed their direction and headed for another target. They walked through 3 ruins in one day, one of which was of a certain scale and the treasure house was well preserved, which made the depressed Xia Chen and Guoran feel better. Especially in the treasure house, they found a complete map of the uninhabited world. It turned out that this place was once called the world of 10,000 spirits, which means that all spirits coexist. However, there is no introduction to the ancient books about the War of Extermination. There are 3 treasures in the ancient books. 2 of them have no array blessing, and the ancient books in the treasure house have been reduced to ashes because they are too far away. There is only one treasure house, because the array has been open, protecting the ancient books from the erosion of time, and has been preserved. Xia Chen and Guoran found some secret books about casting utensils, arrays and inscriptions in these books, and they were overjoyed. Because the way of casting and inscriptions here is very different from what they have learned. Among them, there is an introduction to casting immortal magic weapons. Although it's just an introduction, it's already a treasure for them, as if opening a new door. In addition to these classics, there are also some cultivation methods. Because of the lack of time, the 3 people did not have time to read them and collected them directly. In addition to those ancient books, there are also many chaotic spirit stones and some immortal gold god iron. What surprised Guoran most was that he found 2 swords in the treasure house. However, although these 2 swords depict immortal divine lines, they are not immortal divine weapons because they are a pair of semi-finished products. Perhaps they have not been completed yet, so they have been preserved. Guoran's 2 swords are useless. Although these 2 swords are semi-finished products, they have already satisfied Guoran very much. The most important thing is that this semi-finished product has great research value. He can use this semi-finished product as a reference to study and build immortal magic weapon himself. In addition to Zhantian Shenzong, the harvest here is the most abundant. Xia Chen and Guoran's faces are full of excited smiles, and the depression of being chased is swept away. What's going on around here? Longchen asked Xia Chen. They are still running around like headless flies, unable to determine our direction. Moreover, all the hundreds of arrays I set up are intact, and none of them has been found. Summer Morning Road. The array discs arranged by Xia Chen along the way are equivalent to hundreds of eyes. They help him monitor the surrounding conditions. Each array disc is covered by magic array. Many strong people of different races walk back and forth from the array disc, but they can't find it. Even Xia Chen deliberately arranged some low-level arrays, which are easy to be found. Without exception, they can't be seen. This shows that the strong people here don't know the array at all, which makes Xia Chen completely relieved. Boss, we have a group of strong Kunping people nearby. Suddenly, Xia Chen's face changed. Xia Chen calls out a picture. There is nothing in the picture, but there is a golden light flying by. When Xia Chen makes the picture still, you can see a fuzzy figure. Although the figure is fuzzy, you can still see that it is the figure of the Kunping clan. It's so fast that even the array can't capture the complete shadow. They are aiming at the boss. Guoran took a cold breath. Long Chen's speed is their strongest card now, and the emergence of the Kunping clan, Long Chen's advantage is about to disappear. At this moment, the sound of air splitting the void came from overhead, and the golden light roared away, almost disappeared in a flash. The speed was so fast that even the dragon dust was startled. Boom! The more than 10 golden lights just flew by, suddenly the void exploded, and the more than 10 golden lights turned back in an instant. Damn Terran, take your life. The voice just fell, a golden claw, with all over the sky golden light, grabbed at the 3 people. The strong breath made Xia Chen and Guoran not breathe well. This strong man was stronger than the bone mammoth that day. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 43:13 Boom! In the face of Kunpeng's strike, Longchen dare not neglect, summon the Dragon King to fight, claw to claw. The collision between Dragon's Claw and Kunpeng's Claw broke out ripples all over the sky. Longchen's whole body was shocked, and the strong one of Kunpeng's clan was shocked by Longchen. Longchen's heart was shocked. The strong man of the Kunpeng clan was so terrible that his chest ached. Boom! The strong one of the Kunpeng clan was shaken back by the dragon dust, which directly called out the Kunpeng vision. When the vision opened, the endless chaos of the air turned, and 10,000 roads roared. Buzz, under the blessing of the vision, the powerful Kunpeng family's wings spread out, like a golden sword cutting the sky, and one of its wings chopped down at the dragon dust. The strong one of the Kunpeng clan summoned the Numenon and attacked as fast as lightning. Longchen instinctively dodged. Boom boom. Kunpeng's wings, like a long sword, cut heavily on the earth, and the earth was cut into an endless gap. In the bottomless gully, the golden afterglow still flickered. This strike made the stone break the sky, and even the dragon dust was startled. Buzz, the strong one of the Kunpeng clan, was defeated by a blow, and the other wing trembled. In the surging of Shenhui, it swept across. The speed of changing moves was unparalleled. Boom! Holding the seven-ju sword, Long Chen slashes the golden wings fiercely. The two forces burst out. The whole world shakes and the sand rushes up into the sky in an instant. The strong man of the Kunpeng clan was cut upside down by Long Chen's sword, and Long Chen's chi and blood surged. He stepped back for several steps, and each step fell, and a large crack appeared on the earth. What a powerful power! Long Chen was shocked in his heart. His seven-ju sword was made of colorful blood, and its hardness was comparable to that of immortal magic soldiers. However, it was so hard to shake the wings of the Kunpeng family that it failed to cut off its wings. The gold wings of the strong Kunpeng clan are made of gold. The runes on them shine like gold. Between the flow of divine brilliance, they radiate infinite prestige and resonate with heaven and earth. It turns out that the golden-winged mirrors of the Kunpeng clan have such terrible power. In the eyes of the dragon and the dust, the essence is abundant. He had met the golden-winged rocks before, but these golden-winged rocks are just a branch of the Kunpeng family, and their strength is not strong. But this golden-winged mire has the flavor of Kunpeng, pure blood, indestructible wings, and amazing strength. Damn the Terran, it's too down, but you still don't have enough to see, and you're not qualified to comment on my Kunpeng clan. The strong Kunpeng clan was shocked by the dragon dust, and they were furious. With a roar, their wings opened up, and suddenly they opened their mouths. Buzz, there is no sign. A golden light comes straight to Longchen. Everything comes too fast. When Longchen reacts, the light is near Longchen, and it's too late to escape. 7 unique shields. Longchen didn't even think about it, but his left hand appeared with a colorful shield in front of him. Boom! With a bang, the colorful shield in Longchen's hand was broken, and the blood on his left hand was dripping, and he was injured. Obviously, the magic light of the strong Kunpeng is his strongest killing move. Even the seven-ju shield can't resist. Death! The strong Kunpeng people's wings quiver, like a golden lightning towards Longchen. At this time, Longchen's left hand is numb and half of his body is inflexible. If he connects hard, he will suffer a loss. His wings quiver behind him, and people have appeared thousands of miles away. How dare you make a fool of yourself? The strong Kunpeng people sneer. Suddenly, their wings tremble, and the golden Shenhui bursts out. In a flash, they appear directly in front of Longchen. Even Longchen didn't see clearly how he killed him. Longchen was surprised. He had never seen such a speed before. Boom! The seven-ju sword in Longchen's hand cuts fiercely, and with a bang, Longchen and the powerful Kunpeng people regress at the same time. When the strong Kunpeng group retreated, their wings suddenly glowed and their figure disappeared in an instant. Dragon does suddenly feel bad, behind Kunpeng wings tremble, even changed 8 body method, changed 8 directions. Boom! However, even so, Longchen was caught up with him and chopped fiercely with his seven-ju sword. However, because his speed was not as fast as that of the strong Kunpeng family, he was swept away by Kunpeng's wings. Boss? Summer Morning and Guoran exclaimed. Boss unexpectedly fell the wind. Kill those 2 minions. The strong Kunpeng people gave orders to the more than 10 strong Kunpeng people who followed him. The more than 10 strong Kunpeng people, hearing the order, immediately killed Xia Chen and Guoran. Hello? You're the minion. Your whole family is minion. Don't take pie as food. Xia Chen was very angry. When more than a dozen strong Kunpeng came, he sacrificed a huge array plate. The endless runes on the array plate lit up, and then the breath of destroying heaven and earth rose. Fast back, the strong man of the Kunpeng clan was shocked and gave an order, but his order was late. Under the control of Xia Chen, The array disc was like a meteor hitting those strong men. Boom, all of a sudden, the array disc burst into pieces, and then a wave of death spread. Those strong Kunping people who were affected by the wave of death were smashed into flesh and blood in an instant and flew out. Damn, come on. Continue to be arrogant. Xiachen looks at those strong people of Kunping family, who are seriously injured and dying, with more air in and less air out. Guoran was shocked. He didn't expect that Xiachen had such a terrible means. It's a strike of 3,000 chaotic spirit stones. Come on, Laozi has plenty of spirit stones. Summer Morning gnashes her teeth and shouts. He gritted his teeth because of heartache. He got a lot of treasures in the ruins. Some of the array discs are attack array discs, but they need chaos spirit stone as the raw material to drive, and the consumption is amazing. Xiachen is not willing to use it indiscriminately, but after being completely angered by the strong Kunping clan, he directly releases the killing move no matter what. Looking for death, the strong man of the Kunping family watched his master seriously injured and dying. He was surprised and angry. The wings of the Kunping family spread, and the terrible power rose rapidly. Where to look? At this time, Long Chen, holding a bronze tripod, smashed the powerful Kunping family. Boom! The strong Kunping clan was attracted by Xiachen and Guoran, but Longchen suddenly launched an attack and was hit on the back by Chen Kuanding. Poof! The strong members of the Kunping clan were smashed with blood, broken bones and broken tendons. No matter how strong he was, he could not bear the impact of the heaven and earth tripod. Despicable human race, there is a kind of fight openly. Poof! The strong man of Kunping clan was seriously injured and roared wildly. Idiot, if you didn't want your complete wings, do you think I would have been with you for so long? Go at ease, I will accept your wings. The seven-ju sword in Longchen's hand is cut fiercely, and the head of the powerful Kunping clan is cut off immediately. Puff, puff, puff. The 7 unique swords of Longchen are stabbed in succession to kill all the other strong Kunping people and quickly put their corpses into the chaotic space. Work together, let's go. Xiachen takes out the array plate, the divine light covers, and the 3 disappear in an instant. Boom! The 3 just disappeared, a claw pierced the sky, and the place where they were turned into nothingness. Damn the Terran, dare to kill my Kunping offspring, I will destroy the whole Terran. The roar of terror is surging. The man who shot from the air is an immortal strong man. He is here to save the strong man of the Kunping clan. Unfortunately, Long Chen shot too fast. It's a pity it's a little late. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 43:14 Buzz, the void trembles. The endless golden radiance surges, the chaotic breath flows, and a pair of golden wings tear the sky. They'll go. It's gorgeous. Guoran and Xiachen look at the new pair of golden wings behind the dragon dust, and they are so envious that their saliva will flow out. No, my armor will have to build a pair of such wings in the future. It's too windy. Guoran clenched his fist and said excitedly. Under the protection of the two, it took Longchen only 1 hour to refine the Kunping wings. Boom, all of a sudden, the wings of dragon dust tremble, and people disappear in an instant. Buzz. Between heaven and earth, the dragon dust left countless figures, interwoven in the void, as if there were tens of thousands of dragon dust running back and forth, fast to the extreme. All of a sudden, the figure disappears all over the sky. Long Chen returns to his original place and looks shocked at the Kunping wings he has just acquired. These wings were nourished by the chi of chaos when they were still in the womb, and they have already begun to enlighten. This person's identity is absolutely unusual. Long Chen refined the wings. When Long Chen used the wings, it was rejected by the will of the wings. Long Chen suppressed it with his own will violence, and then subdued it. After subduing it, its growing memory was gradually depicted in Long Chen's mind. This pair of wings has been carefully cultivated, just like a magic weapon. In fact, its strength has surpassed that of the Kunping family. That's why the 7 unique swords of Long Chen can't hurt it. Although Longchen doesn't have the power of Kunpeng, it has colorful supreme blood, purple blood and dragon blood, which can drive the wings and exert its power to the maximum. Therefore, when the dragon dust controls these wings, its speed is faster and more powerful than that of the Kunpeng family. Boss, if we collect more wings, can we put all our soldiers on wings? Xiachen looks forward to the tunnel. But Longchen shook his head and said, "It's impossible. If you want to subdue Kunpeng's wings, you need a stronger body than Kunpeng. More importantly, you need to have a stronger will than Kunpeng, otherwise you can't subdue Kunpeng at all." Kunpeng's ambition refers to the will not to be bound by heaven and earth, but to change fate against heaven and overturn the way of heaven. Although the dragon blood soldiers are determined, it's almost impossible to surrender Kunpeng's will. Moreover, the surrender process is full of risks, and it's not worth risking their lives to win the chance. Listen to Long Chen Soa say, summer mornings suddenly such as cold water can only dispel this idea. There are too many people in this place. Let's change places and try not to be surrounded by too many people. Dragon dust finish. With two people whistling away, dragon dust behind the gold wings tremble, disappear in an instant. In the next few days, the strong people of all ethnic groups who surrounded Longchen didn't know that Longchen had left the place. They foolishly formed a circle and carried out a carpet search. The three of them have been exploring more than 30 relics in the other direction of the no man's world, and have harvested 3 immortal magic weapons, as well as a variety of skill secret scripts and countless holy stone materials. Seeing that there has been no movement these days, the three of them studied it and decided to go to a super sect nearby. Because after the last exposure in Zhantian Shenzong, Long Chen worried that these people knew their purpose and began to wait. However, when they approached the gate, they found that their worries were superfluous. The creatures here obviously had no such brains. This is a sect comparable to Zhantian Shenzong. However, when they were full of joy and thought they were going to make a fortune, they found that the treasure house here had been looted for a long time. How could that be? Xia Chen and Guoran's face changed. It's not supposed to be. The creatures here don't touch the things of the human race at all, because the things of the human race are useless to them. Look at the traces here. The treasure house has been empty for a long time. It should have been done by people of that era. Long Chen looked at the surrounding situation. Did anyone take advantage of the fire? Guoran was shocked. There are words here, boss. Do you know them? 3 people are disappointed, ready to leave. Suddenly summer morning found the passage wall, engraved with handwriting. In front of the writing, there was a pile of ashes and a decayed knife. Traitor, Long Chen saw the words on the wall, because the words were scribbled and the walls were rotten. It took him a long time to recognize the 2 words. Traitor? Is it true that all the treasures in this clan have been stolen by traitors? Xia Chen was surprised. But what's the use of stealing it? When you pour out your nest, will you have finished your eggs? Guoran didn't understand. The 3 people looked at the pile of soil in front of the wall. It should be the dust left by the decay of the man's body after he finished carving. Although the handwriting is scribbled, it can be seen from the strokes that the man was full of resentment and unwillingness before he died. Long Chen looked at the 2 words for a long time, then shook his head and said, "The enemy is not terrible. What is terrible is those invisible enemies, as well as the friendly forces harboring evil intentions. It's really hateful. Where are all the treasures hidden by these traitors?" Xia Chen gnashes his teeth. Long Chen suddenly looks happy. This may not be a bad thing. Why? Xia Chen and Guoran are puzzled. You think all the Terrans here have been destroyed, and all these traitors have died in the end. But they must have collected countless treasures when they took advantage of the fire during the war. As long as we find their treasure, we'll send it. Guoran and Xia Chen yelled almost at the same time, their faces full of excitement. But how to find the treasure? Xia Chen and Guoran are frustrated again. Nobody is so huge. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack to search for such a group of hidden treasures. It shouldn't be difficult. As long as you turn on the sensor array and specially sense the fluctuation of the chaotic spirit stone, and expand the range to the maximum, you can definitely find it. Longchen Road. On the one hand, it's easy to attract the enemy's attention. On the other hand, it's also extremely amazing to consume the chaotic spirit stone. In case you can't find it. Xiachen suddenly hesitated. If you can't bear the wolf, don't worry about the chaotic spirit stone. Once you find the treasure, you will have everything. Longchen said with a smile. Buzz, so Xiachen gritted his teeth and set up a super large induction array. Piles of chaotic spirit stones lit up. Then the chaotic spirit stones cracked one by one and became waste. More than 1 million chaotic spirit stones were burnt out in a single incense burning time, which made the three people's flesh ache, but they could only gnash their teeth and continue to pour piles of chaotic spirit stones into the array disk. There are countless bright spots on the array disk in the morning of summer, just like the sea of stars. Each bright spot is the fluctuation of spirit stone. Some of these bright spots are dark, and the dark places show that there are few spirit stones, while the bright places show that there are many spirit stones. Buzz, all of a sudden, there was a light on the array disk, shining like the sun. At that moment, the three people yelled at the same time, "Found it! www. Ninefold.com, the fastest update of the web novel." Chapter 43:15, Long Chen and the two of them galloped for a whole day and a whole night. The Nobodus world was too big. At the speed of Long Chen, they didn't know how much distance they had to fly for a whole day and a whole night. It's coming. Let's fix it first. The more time we have, the more calm we have to be. Long Chen rode. Xia Chen and Guoran nodded. Both of them were so excited that they wanted to dig the treasure right away. Their heart beat faster. They needed to calm down. In the morning of summer, I began to arrange the array. After finishing the arrangement, I had a rest for an hour. After running all day, Long Chen was also very tired and needed to rest to replenish energy. When Long Chen was almost at rest, the three men carefully dived to the target. The target was a humble valley, a dilapidated place, which should be a Zhongmin site. Xia Chen used the array to peep at the incense for a whole time, and found nothing unusual, so he began to explore the underground. Sure enough, there was a wave in the underground. There were array blessings in the underground. For the sake of safety, the three continued to observe for a while before they began to dive underground. As they dive underground, they pay attention to the movement outside. If there is any change, they must wrap a piece of white bone in the sphere of light. The white bone is engraved with dense words. It's a bone book. You don't need to read it, you know it must be a precious secret book. The bone book was carved from the bones of immortal beings. In order to maintain its divinity, it was sealed with a stone. Although Long Chen also got some secret books and bone books, he never saw the stone that sealed the bone book. There are thousands of sacred stones, just like the shrinking moon, lying there quietly. All of a sudden, Long Chen's face changed greatly. He had 7 Ju swords in his hand. One sword broke through the air and stabbed a figure in the distance. That figure is extremely hidden, and there is no breath at all. If it was not for Long Chen who saw the corner of his clothes, he could not find it at all. Long Chen's long sword cuts at the figure. Suddenly Long Chen is surprised. He pulls back his strength in a hurry. The waves shake away the sacred stones, revealing the figure of an old man. It was a strong man of the human race. He was dressed in green clothes and had no eyes. His face seemed to be remorseful and unwilling. He did not move. It turned out to be a corpse. Dead. Xia Chen and Guoran were also startled. They came to the man with an uncertain face. This is an immortal man who has been dead for many years. Long Chen rode. But he's not hurt at all. Summer Morning can't help saying. He killed himself. Long Chen rode. Suicide. Long Chen slowly stretched out his hand and explored the corpse. The corpse sat on the ground, holding a piece of white bone. Long Chen grabs the white bone and takes it out of the old man's hand with a slight force. The words are engraved on it, they are all dead, and they can't live because of their own evils. The human race finally died in their own hands. Greed is the biggest weakness of the human race. In the end, it's nothing. It's pitiful, pathetic, and ridiculous. When Long Chen translated the above words, Xia Chen and Guoran could not help but be stunned. Who is this person? Probably one of the traitors. They betrayed the Terran because of the things in the treasure house. They helped the alien to kill their own people. There must be some agreement with the alien. As a result, the alien did not abide by the agreement. Their goal is to eliminate all the human race. They renamed this place uninhabited. We can see how much they hate the human race. Pitiful, pathetic, and ridiculous. This evaluation should be a kind of self-mockery. They finally destroyed themselves because of greed. Long Chen looked at the man's expression and sighed. Are they so stupid? Why cooperate with other races? Summer Morning cannot help but speechless. We can make a bold assumption that at that time, the mortals in the world of 10,000 spirits were respected and obedient, and could only breathe at the feet of the human race. What would the human race do at that time? Long Chen asked. Internal fighting. Xia Chen did not hesitate. Internal strife can at least be divided into two factions. If the two factions are equally matched, then who can win over the alien race will have an absolute advantage. Then the Terrans fought against each other, and their strength was greatly damaged, and the alien races broke out, annihilating the Terrans at one stroke and dominating the world. As for the specific, no one knows, but from the analysis of the current situation, although not in, should not be far away. Two camps, one camp is destroyed, this person can collect so many treasures, it must be the existence of the collusion between the traitor and the alien race. The Terran play with fire. This last sentence is really the most true portrayal Long Chen sighed. This man should have escaped here. He didn't dare to go out. He was so regretful that he killed himself. Alas. Pathetic, pathetic. Xia Chen looked at the man's body and couldn't help sighing. It's okay. At least it's not a loss to keep a pile of treasures. Guoran said that he didn't have so much emotion. He only had those treasures in his eyes. The three men checked here again and found that there was no abnormality except the corpse. After they searched all the treasures and rushed out of the ground, Xia Chen started the array and left for the first time. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 43:16, Rich, Rich. When the three people transmitted continuously, they came to a very hidden place, surrounded by a large array. It was absolutely safe here. Finally, they could not restrain their inner ecstasy and began to shout. Damn, with these chaotic spirit stones, even if I meet the immortal strong, I have the confidence to fight. Isn't that money? I'm rich. Summer Morning exclaimed excitedly. I can't do it yet. I have to build a new set of armor. When I become the king of the world, I must have the strength to challenge the immortal strong. Guoran is also full of confidence at the moment. There are tens of thousands of kinds of immortal gold and divine materials in Guoran's place. There are even many divine irons that Guoran can't name. Let alone building a set of armor, even if you build 1,000,000 sets, it's more than enough. The key is that Xia Chen has not been able to build immortal armor. Chaos Fairy Crystal. 3 people very simply have to share directly. Everyone got a large number of spirit stone, in case of need. Take a look at what these bone books record, and see if there are any that can be used now. Long Chen rode. Now in a state of absolute safety, the 3 finally had time to start counting the harvest, so they took out the bone books. Zantianshan scroll. Long Chen's heart leaped wildly. The first ancient book he took out turned out to be the secret script of Zhan Tianshan sect. After hearing the name, he knew that it must be the core skill of Zhan Tianshan sect. The strong wind cuts 3 times. What? It's a combat skill. Xia Chen looks at an ancient book and shakes his head. He is not interested in this kind of thing. Every bone book is wrapped by the light group. You only need to probe the divine consciousness into the light group to know its name. However, if you want to practice, you need to probe the soul into the bone book to practice. This is an extremely ancient way of inheritance, but it is highly efficient, but it also has its fatal disadvantage. That is, if a person's soul is not strong enough to bear the pressure of ancient books, he may directly lose his soul and die suddenly. They'll go. This is the treasure we want. Guoran saw the bone book and jumped up. Xiaqin is also very excited. After hearing the name, he knows that this is the treasure he needs. Give it to me, give it to me. Xiaqin was very excited. Don't be busy practicing. The power of the soul in the bone book is too strong. I'm afraid you can't bear it. I'll tidy up the things first, and then I'll protect the Dharma for you to have a look. Longchen rode. Xiaqin and Guoran were so excited that they continued to look at other bone books. They found that these bone books were all precious secret books, which recorded all kinds of skills, war skills, supernatural powers, alchemy, casting utensils, inscriptions, arrays, and even strange books about geomantic omen, divination, and astrology. More than 70% of these bone books are about the cultivation of martial arts, war skills, and supernatural powers, including hundreds of branches of martial arts. Among them, there are even dozens of notes of the immortal and strong, recording how they broke through step by step and advanced to immortality. Such notes are extremely precious, and their value cannot be measured. Xiaqin and Guoran compiled a total of 47 bone books, all of which are related to their occupation, including knowledge of casting tools, inscriptions, arrays, runes, organs, concealed weapons, puppets, warships, etc. Longchen was afraid that Xiaqin and Guoran's soul power was not enough to withstand the huge impact of the bone book, so he used his own soul power to offset the impact, and they learned the content of the bone book together. Buzz, when the bone book lights up, the divine light surges, and Longchen suddenly feels a stabbing pain in his soul. Obviously, the energy of the bone book is stronger than he imagined. Xiaqin and Guoran are scared. If it wasn't for Longchen who resisted the first wave, they couldn't bear such a powerful shock. A steady stream of energy poured into the three people's minds from the bone book, and then Longchen saw countless pictures, endless rune circulation in the pictures, and a figure, holding a hammer, beating weapons, engraved the runes on the weapons. The picture is extremely chaotic, crisscross. Longchen see dizzy brain swelling, simply can't understand. But Xiaqin and Guoran are so excited that they tremble all over. Longchen can't understand them, but they study hard all the time and imprint these pictures firmly in their memory. After 3 days, Longchen's face was as pale as paper, and his soul power consumed a lot. However, he finally finished reading all these bone books. He had a look at the flowers by himself, but it didn't matter. Xiaqin and Guoran had firmly remembered these things. Boss, you've worked hard. Guoran looks at Longchen's pale face and knows that Longchen has been suffering from the impact of his soul for them. They both enjoy their success and feel embarrassed. Don't say this kind of numbing words, people will get goosebumps. The dragon dust was silent for a while. Longchen took out a pill to restore the power of his soul and swallowed it. His face looked slightly better and asked, "How about it? How was the harvest?" The harvest is huge. Too big to imagine. 2 people excited tunnel. Guoran scrambled and said, "Boss, when Nirvana comes, I'll build a half-step immortal magic weapon for each of my brothers. Hee, when the time comes, our Dragon Blood Legion will be really rampant. Can't build immortal magic weapon?" Longchen asked. There are several ways to inject the spirit of immortal magic weapon, but the caster should at least reach the level of immortal. Even if I go back to pass through the robbery, I will only be in the realm of the king. It's too far from immortality. But awesome, you need not worry. The weapons I'm going to build are advanced soldiers. As long as our brothers are strong enough, we can use the spirit to warm up the soldiers, so that they can have their own souls. Magic soldiers can grow up on their own. When they fit with their masters to a certain extent, they will be born. They can also grow into immortal magic soldiers in the future. Moreover, this immortal magic weapon, which has grown up by itself, has a surprisingly high degree of fit with its master and can give full play to the power of the magic weapon. Guoran is full of confidence. Longchen nodded and looked at Guoran's confident expression. He knew that he was absolutely sure. "How did you get in the summer morning?" Longchen asked. "I won't say it, hee. I'll give the boss a surprise then." Xiaqin said with a smile. "You can pretend to be deep." Longchen couldn't help laughing and scolding. But Xiaqin is such a character. He talks less and does more. He will give Longchen some surprises. Boss, shall we go now? Or do you want to have fun with the Tianjiao here? Guoran asked. We don't go, we don't have time, we don't have to play with them, we're going to an important place. Longchen rode. Where? The place we are going to is the Eye of Chaos mentioned by the strong Kunpeng people. www. Novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 43:17 The Eye of Chaos is the holy land of the uninhabited world. When the uninhabited world was still the world of spirits, it was always owned by all spirits, but it was guarded by the human race. The Eye of Chaos is a spring. In the immortal pool, there are all the purest springs of chaos. Lingquan has great power. No matter what kind of creature it is, after the baptism of Ling Qi, it will be like reborn. The reason why the Terrans in the world of 10,000 spirits are strong is that they guard the spirit spring. The so-called near water tower gets the moon first. Because of the spirit spring, the Terrans become powerful and respected by all spirits. However, the energy of the spirit spring is not endless. If the power of the spirit spring is consumed too much, it will fall into a quiet period and cannot baptize the living beings. Therefore, the Eye of Chaos is opened once every 100 years, with only 10 places at a time to provide baptism for the strongest celestial king at that time. Because it's the best time to accept the baptism of Lingquan in the fairyland. It's too early or too late to achieve the best effect. This year's baptism is in full swing, and all the powerful people of all ethnic groups are competing for these 10 places. This grand meeting is no less than the Holy King's meeting attended by Longchen. However, there was an accident in the fight for baptism quota. After several months of competition, 20 superpowers were finally selected. According to the past practice, the winner of the 20 strong men's duel is qualified for the baptism of Lingquan. But this year, 2 strong men are ruthless. One of them is defeated and unwilling, so they choose to die with each other. In this way, there will be 1 less quota. For a while, countless forces will not know what to do. This quota will be controversial for anyone. If we play another game, it will be too long for others to wait. When the strong people here don't know what to do, Longchen opens the door of the alien world and attracts their attention. When dragon dust was found in the no man's world, the strong men of the no man's world immediately came up with a way, that is, whoever killed the 3 invaders would be qualified for baptism. In this way, in addition to the 9 winners, the other strong men were red-eyed, especially the 9 losers, who were crazy and frantically looking for Longchen 3. The living beings of no man's world are frantically looking for Longchen, but they don't know that the 3 of them have quietly touched the Eyes of Chaos. In order to attract their attention, Xiachen detonated a part of the array disk in the air, making them mistakenly think that Longchen and others are nearby, so that they can act at ease. Please, there are too many guards here. When close to the Eyes of Chaos, the 3 people's hearts suddenly, they saw countless strong people, gathered together, as if to say something. The Eyes of Chaos, surrounded by all kinds of creatures, although very far away, but still can feel the suffocating pressure. There are at least 10 immortal strong men. Longchen only took a look, and his scalp became numb. Summer morning, try to check the situation over there without disturbing them. Longchen rode. They'll try. Xiachen gritted his teeth, took out the array disk and some spirit stones, and carefully arranged a peeping array. Hum. As soon as the array was finished, the 3 heard a cold hum. It's really a bunch of rubbish. How many days have passed and 3 invaders can't be killed? They haven't heard from each other for 100 years. Are we going to wait here for 100 years? After Xiachen's array layout is completed, you can watch the Chaos Eye remotely through the array. The speaker is a young man with hawk eyes and a gloomy face. He is full of qi and blood and intimidates people. When he looks at him, Guoran suddenly feels cold on his back. This person is a very terrible existence. 9 of us have already obtained the qualification of baptism. Let's accept baptism first. Who knows when we will wait? The other one spoke to. The man who opened his mouth was full of red flames. He couldn't see his face clearly. When he saw the man, Long Chen was scared. That red is not a flame at all, but a barrier formed by the pressure of qi and blood. It is a strong man of the blood clan. He has been so powerful that his qi and blood are released and condensed into a field. Long Chen has never seen such a terrible existence. That's right. It's no way to wait like this. Even 3 dirty people can't cope with it. Otherwise, the 10th quota will be invalid this time. At this time, a huge, muscular, but 2-headed monster also followed the way. His 2 heads spoke at the same time, as if there was an echo. The voice pierced people's soul and made people feel very uncomfortable. Long Chen's heart is awe-inspiring. This monster is huge in size, and its power must be amazing. But, unexpectedly, it also has the power of terrifying soul. It is a monster with dual power, and it is also a monster that breaks the common sense of cultivation. I don't want to wait any longer, gentlemen. Are you going to wait? At this time, a strong man stood up. Long Chen, the strong man, recognized his identity at a glance. He was the strong man of the Kunpeng clan, with golden wings on his back. However, his breath was countless times stronger than the one he had killed before. Their strength was not at the same level at all. Hoo-hoo! At this time, the Hawkeye strong, the strong surrounded by the bloody flame, and the 2-headed monsters stood up one by one. A total of 9 strong men stood up. When the 9 strong men stood up, Xia Chen and Guoran's faces changed. Each of them was too strong to imagine. In front of them, the dragon Outyen and the lotus Shadowless are just like the witches see the witches. They are afraid for the first time. They have never seen such a terrible existence in the same level. There was no explosive momentum, nor did they summon visions, but Guoran and Xia Chen's bodies could not help shaking. This was not fear, but the instinct of life telling them that these people were extremely dangerous and had to escape. Boss, let's go. Let's not talk about the immortal and strong. Even these monsters, we can't deal with them. Guoran couldn't help saying. If one-on-one, they have confidence in Long Chen, but there are 9 such horrible people. No matter how confident they are in Long Chen, they can't do it. We can't go. Those guys are so strong and care so much about the Chaos Eye. We can't miss it. Long Chen shook his head. But we have no chance at all. Guoran couldn't help saying. Around the eyes of chaos, tens of thousands of strong people surround them, not to mention them. Even a mosquito can't fly in. Even if it flies in, how can it get out? I tell you that there are strange rules in the chaos pool. If I calculate correctly, once we enter the pool, those immortal strong people will not attack us. Long Chen looks at the chaotic Shenqi Road. But how can we leave? Xia Chen couldn't help saying. I have a hunch that we can leave alive. Listen to me, Xia Chen, prepare for directional transmission, and we must be sent to Lingquan Center accurately. Long Chen sees that the 9 people are already eager to try, while the older generation of strong people are still discussing. He seems to be indecisive. He says to Xia Chen, Summer morning and Guoran a burst of scalp numbness, but Long Chen so decided, 2 people can only harden the scalp to keep up. Buzz, suddenly, the teleportation array started, and the 3 disappeared in an instant. When they appeared again, they just landed in the center of the Shenqi. When the 3 appeared, the strong men who were still discussing exclaimed. They never dreamed that anyone would dare to break into here. Pudong! The 3 of them plunge into the pool of gods and gallop down, disappearing in an instant. Looking for death, the 9 strong men were surprised and angry. They ignored the old men's obstruction and rushed directly into the spirit pool. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 43:18 Fu. As soon as they entered the pool, they rushed down like fish. The Ling Qi was deep, and the 3 of them, no matter how many, kept rushing down. Soon, they felt the fluctuation in the rear. It was obvious that the 9 peerless arrogance of the uninhabited world had caught up with them. The spirit pool is full of rich chaotic qi, which has condensed into liquid. The more downward, the greater the pressure. Endless chaotic force is washing their bodies. But the 3 of them didn't have the heart to feel this. They tried their best to go downstream. There was a long virtual shadow behind them, just like a dragon tail. They pulled them down quickly, and the creatures were left behind. In the spirit spring, you can hear the roar behind, but the distance is too far to hear what they are roaring. Look down, boss. All of a sudden, there was a cry in the morning. In the depth of Linquan, there was a light. With the three people's rapid approach, there appeared a round door with a radius of 100 li. The round door, like a full moon, exudes holy radiance. Around the round door, there are 10 depressions, where there is a throne everywhere. It seems that it is waiting for its master. One by one, take the place quickly. Longchen rode. Boss, you already know what's going on? Guoran was both surprised and happy. Before I ventured to use the pupil technique and saw the situation here. According to the rule here, at least we are not in danger. Longchen said with a smile. A total of 10 positions, we can only occupy 3, what about the others? Guoran couldn't help saying. Why, do you want to smash the others? Not for them at all? Dragon Dust Gas smile. The key is that they are the enemy. When they become strong, we will suffer. When the door opens and the war comes, I don't know how many brothers will die in their hands. Guoran hates the tunnel. Longchen nodded and said, you think far enough. Do you know why 9 of them have got the quota, but they have to wait for the last one? Xia Chen and Guoran shook their heads. As Longchen moved forward rapidly, he said, if I'm right, it's because only when the 10 thrones are opened at the same time can the energy here be divided equally. If only 9 people are opened, it means that 9 people share the energy of 10 people equally. Therefore, they have been waiting for the 10th person. Otherwise, one place will be lost for no reason. The 3 of us, the first time to occupy the throne, remember my words, as long as you don't die, will desperately absorb. The more we absorb, the less energy we leave for them. On the contrary, all the energy we can't absorb is left for them. Damn, I'd rather die than leave it to them. Guoran gnashes his teeth. Ready. They have already rushed to the bottom with Longchen's hands. Xiachen and Guoran fly to the 2 throne like meteors. Longchen rushes directly to the middle throne. Their 3 thrones are connected. Xiachen and Guoran are around Longchen. Buzz, the 3 entered the throne almost at the same time. When they entered the throne, the divine pattern on the throne lit up, and the water of the whole holy spring boiled in an instant. Boom boom. Sitting on the throne, the 3 of them suddenly felt a sharp pain, as if they had been stabbed into their bodies by hundreds of millions of steel needles. Then, endless energy poured into their bodies. Ah! Guoran screamed bitterly. Xia Chen's forehead was blue with pain. His eyes were about to protrude. The power of chaos invaded their bodies in the most savage and violent way. At that moment, they almost felt that they were going to die. However, they always remember Longchen's words, and they do not resist these forces at all. They even try their best to cater to these forces and rush into their own bodies. This is a typical way to go other people's way and make them have no way to go. Longchen doesn't feel much pain. After all, he has just suffered from the pain of Tong Mai forging bone. This pain is nothing. When endless chaotic forces rush into Longchen's body, like a dormant dragon, is awakened and devours the power here crazily. Dragon Dust's chi, blood, tendons, veins, bones, and the 18,000 stars in the elixir field are like hungry wolves, trying to absorb these energies. At this time, Longchen understood why the dragon strongman said that his body was in a state of extreme hunger and thirst, and he could not feel it at ordinary times. Now his body is like the desert yearning for rain, greedily sucking the power of chaos. And Longchen feels that his body is changing all the time, and his body is really awakening. Damn Terran. Just as the 3 of them had just entered the throne, the 9 strong men also rushed over, but surprisingly, they did not attack the 3 of them, but rushed to the other thrones. Among the 10 thrones, 3 were occupied by Longchen, and 9 of the remaining 7 were robbed. As a result, 2 of the strong did not. Death, the 2 strong men roared, and they killed the 3 men like crazy. Boom boom. They tried their best to attack the throne, but once there was someone in the throne, it would form a seal. They would protect the people in the throne, and let them attack, but they could not destroy the seal. At most, they would affect the people in the throne. Seeing that the two strong men tried their best to attack the seal, but could not destroy it, the three of them immediately felt relieved. Guaran was even in the mood to scold the attacker through the seal. "You're a piece of rubbish. If you come in, I'll fart you all the way and dance with you. Where's your father?" Guaran was in terrible pain. As a result, when he opened his mouth to scold, he immediately had a vent point. It seemed that the pain had been alleviated a lot. With this discovery, Guaran scolded harder. The man attacked the seal and roared, but he couldn't break it. Listening to Guaran's provocation, he was so angry that he tried his best to smash the seal. The more the man hit, the more Guaran scolded him. One hit hard, the other scolded him. Originally, Longshan was trying his best to absorb the power of chaos, but when other thrones were activated, Longshan obviously found that the power of chaos was divided by others. "Damn Terran, you can't escape today. Come out of the border quickly. We can spare your life." Another creature who didn't get the throne yelled, "Idiot, do you think we'll believe you?" This time, it was Xiaqin who answered the man. Like Guaran, he is trying his best to absorb the power of chaos. He can absorb as much as he can. You too continue to interfere with them, so that they will not be able to absorb them. When our chaotic power is saturated, we will help you. The powerful people of the Blood Clan, who were all wrapped in blood-colored flames, spoke loudly in the throne. "The power of chaos is saturated?" Dragon Dusta Leng, immediately in the mind of a flash of light, his hands seal. Shenhuan, now, buzz, a colorful god ring appears behind Longshan, and then the throne of Longshan vibrates. A huge whirlpool is generated, and endless chaotic forces rush to the throne of Longshan. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 43:19. When the dragon dust summons the divine ring, the throne vibrates, and the violent suction makes the power of the whole spirit spring pour out to the dragon dust at the speed visible to the naked eye. The huge whirlpool, like the mouth of a monster, greedily devours all the energy in the spirit spring. Now Longshan has gradually tried to find out the strength of the power of chaos. Since the body can bear it, Longshan began to fully open fire and absorb it. With the absorption of dragon dust, Guaran and Xiaqin obviously feel that their pressure is greatly reduced, and they even feel that some of the power flowing towards them has been taken away. They were overjoyed. Originally, their bodies couldn't bear the absorption of their lives. They felt like they were going to explode, but Longshan's firepower was fully opened, sharing their pressure all at once. They are happy, but the other powerful people on the throne are surprised and angry. They drink and scold one after another, and begin to absorb them. However, they obviously don't know how to absorb it faster. They can only watch Longshan draw the energy away. They are so angry that they roar, but there is no way. It turns out that they only know how to absorb energy honestly in the throne, but they don't know how to absorb it faster, and they have no ability to drive the energy here. A group of idiots. These thrones are built by Terrans. You have a Ray blessing. You destroyed the Terrans here, but you don't know how to control the throne. You are a group of incurable idiots. While absorbing the power of chaos, Longshan still mocks these creatures. Boom boom. Outside the throne of Longshan, two alien strongmen madly attack Longshan's seal, smashing it with a bang, trying to interfere with Longshan. Unfortunately, they could not disturb the dragon dust at all, even the huge whirlpool was not affected. Boom. With the endless power of chaos pouring into Longshan's body roars, chi and blood surge back and forth like a tsunami. Longshan's tendons are like golden dragons, and begin to emerge scales. On each scale there is an egg-shaped rune. And the egg-like rune, awakened by the power of chaos, is trying to make some transformation. Each tendon contains infinite power. There is strange energy flowing back and forth on the bones of Longshan and those chaotic lines, like a dry ground crack, which is rapidly absorbing the power of chaos to make up for its own damage. Kaka kaka. Long Chen's bones are clattering, 100,000 stars in the Dantian are flashing madly, and on each star, a purple flame is swaying, and they are also absorbing the power of chaos madly. Spirit blood, spirit root, spirit bone and dragon tendon are like a group of hungry wolves frantically seizing the power of chaos. Such a huge power of chaos is quickly divided up by them. They look fierce for fear that they will eat less. Boom boom. With the crazy absorption of dragon dust, the original boiling Lingquan began to burst out a violent roar, followed by cracks on the edge of Lingquan. And in the spirit spring, countless strong people are firmly around the eyes of chaos, but their faces are full of horror at this time. Because the earth around Lingquan has begun to crack, they have never encountered such a situation. Lingquan was just boiling, but now it seems to have encountered an earthquake in general, constantly surging. The earth also followed the tremor. The whole world seems to be driven up. Under the water, the magic ring of Longchen trembles and desperately absorbs the power of chaos. An hour later, Longchen's body is still desperately absorbing, and there is no sign of satiety. Xia Chen and Guoran, the seal in front of them has begun to loosen, their faces have changed greatly, and the seal has loosened, which means that their bodies are saturated and they can no longer absorb the power of chaos. When they lose the ability to absorb the power of chaos, the seal will be lifted. At this time, the two strong men who did not fight for the throne suddenly fixed their eyes on them, and their eyes were full of cold intention to kill. "Boss, you don't have to worry about us. I have the ability to protect myself." The summer morning loud voice Wei. He can see that Long Chen is still in the process of crazy ascension. He must not interrupt. If Long Chen comes out ahead of time in order to save them, he will never have a chance again. Buzz, all of a sudden, Xia Chen pressed a seal in his hand, and the seal disappeared in a flash. He even unsealed himself in advance. Death. Just at the moment when Xia Chen was unsealed, the two alien strongmen killed Xia Chen at the same time. Buzz, Xia Chen's array disc was spread like a big net, covering the two people. Because they were in the water, they couldn't move. The two creatures were covered by the net for a moment. However, the net of runes condensed by the ancient array disc was torn apart by the two people in a moment. Their power was too terrible, and the net could not help them. However, at the moment when they tore the net, Xia Chen had come to the front of Guoran's throne. At this time, the seal in front of Guoran disappeared, and Xia Chen and Guoran were squeezed into the same throne. Buzz, in the morning of summer, there were 36 array plates, which were sealed around the throne. The array plates glowed and the light curtains crisscrossed, forming a large protective array. Boom! A living creature lashed at the protection array, and the violent impact made the whole spirit spring tremble. The attack of the living creature was extremely terrible, and it fell down. Although the protection array didn't explode, the divine light was dim. Good guy, this blow can kill a half-step immortal class strong man. Xia Chen was startled. This guy used up most of his strength with a blow. The power of this blow is enough to destroy the half-step immortal strong men in the Holy King's assembly. These guys are too strong. See how long you can hide. Another living creature also killed to come over, one punch at the boundary that Summer Morning arranges to smash fiercely, but just before his hand, Summer Morning foot appeared a wooden barrel appearance thing. The barrel is full of chaotic spirit stone. The spirit stone in the barrel glows, and the dim border lights up rapidly again. Boom! With a bang, the creature smashed on the border, and the border was dim again. Meanwhile, all the chaotic spirit stones in Xiakin's barrel were cracked and completely discarded. Xia Chen takes out a bucket of chaotic spirit stone again, the runes on the bucket flow, the spirit stone burns, and the dim array is repaired again. Obviously, this barrel provides fuel for Dawn. As long as the fuel is not enough, Dawn cannot be destroyed. Boom boom. The two strong men took turns to attack the border. Xia Chen kept changing buckets, and the chaotic spirit stone was thrown bucket by bucket, but Xia Chen didn't change his face. With his financial resources, he could last 100 years. The two creatures kept attacking, but they could not help Xia Chen and Guoran. They were so angry that they screamed. At this time, They found that the power of chaos in the spirit spring of chaos obviously began to decrease. At this time, they were all flustered. The spirit spring of chaos was not enough for them. In addition to Xia Chen and Guoran, other people are not saturated. At this time, one of the two who attacked Xia Chen suddenly rushed straight to Xia Chen's throne. How could that be? However, when he rushed into the throne, he was shocked to find that there was no reaction from the throne. In other words, the power of chaos in the eyes of chaos was not enough to open the throne again, and the creature was confused. You know, Xia Chen and Guoran absorb very little power of chaos. Together, they are even less than half of the normal strong. But now the energy in the eyes of chaos is obviously insufficient. Kaka kaka. At this time, the spring core, like the bright moon, appeared numerous cracks. Boom, every once astonished scene appeared, the core of the chaotic spirit spring was smashed. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 43:20 When the full moon burst, many people found that it was a huge jade, in which there were countless runes in circulation. It turns out that this chaotic eye is not formed naturally, but created artificially. When I saw those lines, Xia Chen exclaimed. Because of the disrepair and no one to maintain, the chaos eye is on the verge of breaking. Under the strong extraction of the boss, the hidden power of chaos is brought out. In this way, it loses its support and the rune is out of balance. That's why it explodes. Guoran also followed the way, he also saw the way. The boss is the boss. After this time, there will be no more chaotic eyes. Xia Chen laughs. Boom boom. The broken pieces of jade, suddenly broken into powder, scattered in the shenqi, the whole shenqi became extremely turbid, cannot see things. After the broken jade, the endless power of chaos flies out and rushes to the dragon dust. The dragon dust is like wringing clothes, desperately squeezing every trace of the power of chaos out of the jade. Boom, with a bang, there seems to be a volcanic eruption in Longchen's body. He finally reaches the limit and can no longer absorb more power of chaos. Buzz, at this time, the seal in front of Longchen disappeared in an instant. Just as the seal disappeared, the two figures rushed towards Longchen. Boss, be careful, Xia Chen reminds us in a loud voice that now there is chaos in the shenqi and nothing can be seen, but he can feel the surrounding situation through the array. Boom! Suddenly, there were two loud noises, followed by two grunts. The two alien strongmen who rushed to Longchen flew out and hit the wall. The whole Lingquan suddenly trembled, big rocks fell and the wall began to collapse. Buzz! At this time, the seals in front of the other powerful kings were lifted one after another, and they roared to kill Longchen. Their murderous spirit soars to the sky, and their seal is lifted, not because their bodies are saturated, but because there is no chaotic power to absorb in the spirit spring. Today, they can only eat half full at most. The rest of their energy has been robbed by Longchen alone. How can they not be angry? The core of the chaos eye is broken. From now on, there will be no chaos eye. That is to say, they are the last Baptists. Death, all of a sudden, a golden light comes, regardless of the spring block. The speed is speechless. Almost as soon as it is sent out, it is in front of Longchen. Longchen's heart is awe-inspiring. It's the magic power of the Kuanping clan. He didn't dare to take it hard. Instead, he sidestepped to avoid it. Boom! The divine light, like a sword, penetrates the rock wall, breaks through the earth and goes straight into the ninth heaven. What a terrible power! Longchen was startled. The power of this blow was unimaginable. If he was hit, even now he would drink a pot. At that moment, the soul of Longchen was as painful as a needle. Xia Chen and Guoran, who were hiding in the throne, screamed at the same time, covering their ears with their hands. Their eyes, nose and ears were overflowing with blood. The double-headed monster launched a soul attack. Longchen was shocked. The attack was all-pervasive, unavoidable and unstoppable. Xia Chen and Guoran would not last long and their souls would be torn. Buzz, at this time, a group of bloody flames came to kill the dragon dust. which was the pride of the Blood Clan. Fight for it. As Long Chen bites his teeth, his body spins sideways. The virtual shadow of the giant dragon appears behind him. The sound of the dragon's chanting is loud and his foot is thrown out. Dragon wags its tail. Boom! A golden dragon's tail, like the whip of the god of heaven, was thrown heavily on the strong man of the Blood Clan. With a bang, a huge vacuum was formed under the water. The terrible waves spread all around, the rocks broke, and the huge waves swept across the sky. The strong man of the Blood Clan was hit like a meteor and rushed straight to the water. Coming, suppressing. Just at the moment when the strong of the Blood Clan rushed out of the water, more than a dozen immortal strong men shot at the same time. The blood and chi interweaved on the void and covered the whole world. Boom! With a bang, the Blood Clan strongman smashed into the blood boundary formed by those immortal strongmen. The protective spirit of the Blood Clan strongman was shattered in an instant, and the blood gushed. "No, it's my own." "There are immortal strong," suddenly exclaimed. Originally, they thought that the three men were besieged by so many strong men and would never love to fight. They would flee at the first time. At this time, they laid a net and waited for Longchen to enter the net. But I didn't expect that the first one who came up was Tianjiao of the Blood Clan. Fortunately, they wanted to catch him alive, but they didn't kill him. Otherwise, Tianjiao of the Blood Clan would be killed directly. Boom! Just when they were surprised by the pride of the Blood Clan, the spring burst open and a bronze tripod roared in, hitting their border. Originally, this border was unbreakable, but because of the impact of the strong of the Blood Clan, these immortal strong people have recovered part of their strength so as not to accidentally kill their own people. As a result, at the moment when they gathered their strength, the bronze tripod smashed into the boundary they had set up. With a loud bang, the heaven and earth burst open. The boundary they had set up was dashed out of a big hole by the bronze tripod. What? Those immortal strong people who set up the border felt a surge of blood, and the divine power on the bronze tripod made them shudder. "No, stop them." Someone exclaimed that at the moment when the bronze tripod broke the border, Longchen grabbed Xiachen and Guoran and flew away along the hole. Boom boom. Unfortunately, they are still a little slow. As Longchen passes through the border and closes the cauldron, the golden wings behind him light up quickly and disappear in a moment. Bang bang. The earth burst open, a figure flying out from the water. They are all covered with mud, very embarrassed. Impressively is 8 no man's pride. Chasing, seeing Longchen run away, the strong men here are furious and chase Longchen in the direction of leaving. Boom. A Kunpeng shows itself. It spreads its wings to cover the sky, shakes off the endless golden radiance, and disappears in an instant. It is the peerless pride of the Kunpeng family. Then one by one figure, spread out the speed of terror, to the direction of the dragon dust away. Boom! Dragon dust flies in front of him, and the void behind him collapses ceaselessly. Countless strong people try their best to catch up with him, which causes great pressure on heaven and earth, and the law of heaven and earth begins to collapse. It's so scary. Guoran looked back and felt numb. Countless strong men are crazy to chase, among which there are many immortal strong men, forming a huge shock wave, which makes the space behind them constantly burst. It's like a dragon tearing frantically behind them. Once it is caught up, it will be torn into powder. Xia Chen and Guoran have been fighting with Long Chen for so many years. They have seen many big scenes, but this is the first time. With their courage and insight, Rao's hair will stand up. "No, boss, there's a guy catching up." All of a sudden, Guoran exclaimed, because they were shocked to find that a golden Kunpeng was gradually getting closer to them, leaving behind other strong men. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 43:21. It's the underwater guy. Guoran recognized the man. The first one to catch up with them was not the immortal heroes, but the pride of the Kunpeng clan. At first, Kunpeng was on a par with the others, but now he has gradually got rid of them and is getting closer to Longchen. "Boss, this can't work." Soon this guy will catch up with us. Guoran exclaimed. It's the two of us that slow the boss down. Summer Morning also face changed. Dragon dust with them, speed will certainly be affected by a little, and on this point, they are doomed to catch up. Boss, put me down, I'll block them with the array disk, and then send them away through the array. Summer Morning Road. Don't pull those useless, you go down, don't want to leave alive, the space law is all disturbed by them, what do you take to transmit? Longchen doesn't have a good way. He knew that Xiachen wanted to take the risk to stop them. As long as they could slow down, Longchen could take Guoran away, but in that case, he would die. Buzz, at this moment, the Kunping in the rear is getting closer and closer. Xiachen can't help but feel anxious. Boss, we are going to enter his attack area soon. His hair is shining. It's a big move to release. At this time, Kunping in the rear was full of runes, and his speed was faster than before. It seemed that he would attack them at any time. Don't worry, he won't attack rashly, because he has only one chance. If he is dodged by us, his speed will drop instantly, and he will never catch up with us again. Longchen Road. The speed of Longchen has reached the extreme. The heaven and the earth are constantly distorted, as if they have penetrated into the tunnel of time and space, and can no longer see the scene outside. In addition to the pride of the Kunping clan, the other strong people are being thrown away quickly, almost without any shadow. That is to say, once they get rid of the strong Kunping clan, they will have a chance to escape. Therefore, Longchen dares to conclude that the strong Kunping clan will not attack rashly without absolute assurance. Boss, are you slowing down? He's getting closer. Looking at the figure of the powerful Kunping people behind, Guoran couldn't help crying. My speed didn't drop, he used me to break the air flow to ease the resistance, so it seems that the speed is getting faster and faster. If he is in the front, I will catch up with him and I can catch up with him. There is no way. Whoever is in the front will suffer. Longchen Road. Then what? Shall I throw something at him? Guoran said. At this time, Guoran and Xiachen are pulled by Longchen's arm and run at a high speed. Their bodies are very uncomfortable. If their bodies were not baptized by Ling Qi, their bodies would be torn apart under such terrible pressure. However, at this time, they were extremely uncomfortable and could not attack at all, let alone need the seal. There's no need. Now it's still a little far away. He can avoid it. After a while, if it's close enough, it will launch a magic attack. At that time, you threw out some useless immortal soldiers and hit them with its speed, which was enough for him to drink a pot. Longchen Road. Dragon dust full speed, that Kunping family strong distance closer and closer, even Xiachen two people can see his eyes flashing symbols. The two of them focused on his eyes. Suddenly, the rune in his eyes burned. At that time, Xiachen and Guoran felt a shudder in their souls. They knew that they were locked. Hoo-hoo! Without saying a word, they threw out the alien magic soldiers they used for their research. There were 16 magic soldiers, including swords, spears, halberds, axes, hooks and forks. These magic soldiers are either from the demon clan, or from the ghost world, and some from the underworld. They are only used for research, and they can't be used at ordinary times. These magic soldiers were thrown out in different directions. Just after they were thrown out, they were left behind. The strong man of the Kunping clan opened his mouth, and the terrible divine light flickered in his mouth. But before he could spit it out, he suddenly found that the divine weapon was coming through the air. Its wings trembled fiercely, and the sky was full of shadows. It even avoided 7 magic weapons in a row. Poof, as a result, he was stabbed in the chest by a magic gun. Although the long gun was thrown out by Xiachen at random, the speed of the powerful Kunping clan was so terrible that the magic soldiers burst into pieces. And the strong Kunping family was also shocked, and their chest feathers flew, blood splashed, and a big hole was blown out. His big plan was interrupted, his huge body rolled in the air, and his speed dropped. And the moment that his speed drops down, the figure of the 3 of them gallops away and disappears in his sight. Done? Xiachen and Guoran cheered for a while. They didn't expect that they could get rid of the powerful Kunping clan so easily. You know, their hearts had to be raised to their throat before. The strong people here were so terrible that they even felt that they might die here today, so they got rid of them. In the morning of summer, prepare the array disk. When I get to the transmission point, I'll start the transmission directly. I'm going to slow down. Longchen Road. Because the speed of dragon dust is too fast, if you rush to the transmission point, the space will be disturbed because of him, and the space can only be transmitted in a relatively calm situation. As soon as he slows down, the strong people behind will kill him immediately. If they can't teleport away before they kill him, they will have to flee again. What's more, the strong one of the Kunpeng clan has suffered a big loss, and will never suffer a second loss. If he follows them, he doesn't have to attack them. He just needs to leave a breath for others to pursue. When the time comes, the whole uninhabited world will shrink its encirclement, and they will die. Finally, Long Chen falls in a valley. Xia Chen starts the array for the first time. Xia Chen's hands are trembling. After all, it's related to the life and death of the three of them. Quick, quick. Xia Chen started the array and prayed anxiously. In the past, this time was nothing, but now, a blink of an eye is as long as an hour. Boom boom. Xia Chen has just activated the array disk, and the void begins to collapse in the distance. The creatures in the no man's world have already chased him. At that moment, Long Chen catches Xia Chen and Guoran. If there is no time to transmit, he must flee again. Death. At this time, the strong men in the distance found 3 people. They roared and killed them. Their runes flashed, and they were brewing terrible moves. Buzz. The divine light of Taoism tears the heaven and the earth, breaks down thousands of ways, and shoots at the place where the 3 of them are. Boom boom. The place where the 3 people were was hit into nothingness in a flash, and a terrible black hole formed in a millionly radius. Unfortunately, just before those attacks landed, the figure of Longchen 3 had disappeared. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 43:22, Hoo. When the first transmission was successful, the 3 men carried out continuous transmission. The array disk arranged in the early summer came in handy this time. No matter how fast the speed of Longchen is, it's not as fast as the transmission array, because there are only 3 people, and the consumption is small, so it can transmit further. After 7 transmissions, they got closer and closer to the exit, but the 3 became more and more nervous. Boss, do you really want to break in directly? Summer Morning Road. You know, the strong people in no man's world are not fools. They will block the exit before they start hunting. Even if you think with your fingers, there must be countless strong men guarding the exit, and all of them are the strong men of the older generation, because the strong men of the new generation are all involved in hunting. There must be immortality among the strong of the older generation, and I'm afraid there are more than 1 or 2. It's too dangerous to rush through like this. There's no way. We have to rush. If we stay here, we don't dare to rob. We've wasted precious time. And even if the door is opened, the uninhabited world and Nirvana will not be able to come in to support us. After all, there are too many strong people in the uninhabited world. Longchen Road. Longchen knows what Guoran thinks. He wants to hide here. Anyway, Xia Chen's array is there. As long as they are willing to hide, people here can't find them. However, in this way, what should we do? Have you been suppressing accomplishments and not robbing them? If the robbery is over, after the robbery, Long Chen will be exhausted and may even be seriously injured and dying. At that time, he can only be slaughtered. Nowadays, the world of practice is changing. Everyone is trying to improve himself and dare not fall behind one day. If the 3 of them are hiding here, others will rob them one after another. By then, they will be finished. Among other things, those top creatures in the no man's world can compete with them now. But if they are promoted to the king of the world, and the dragon dust is still in the fairyland, they will die once they encounter it. The dragon strongman once said that Longchen is not the opponent of the top strongman here. At first, Longchen was not convinced, but now he knows that the dragon strongman is telling the truth. The reason why Longchen is qualified to challenge them now is that he has been baptized by Lingquan and his body has undergone earth-shaking changes. Under the Lingquan, the dragon's tail wagged by the dragon dust strike was not reserved at all. He thought that even if he didn't kick the other side to death, he could also hurt the other side badly. However, his attack just broke the blood shield of the strong man of the Blood Clan, and the strong man of the Blood Clan was hit on the border of the immortal strong man, and he only vomited a few mouthfuls of blood. Although he was injured, it was not fatal. It can be seen how terrible he was. If Longchen comes in and meets such a strong man, his hope of victory is extremely slim. This is the gap. The different growth environment has brought about a natural chasm. Such a strong terrorist is growing rapidly every day. If Longchen loses the chance to cross the robbery because of avoiding, once the distance is thrown away, it will be more difficult to catch up with him in the future. And the other party will not give him the opportunity to pursue, directly strangle him in the cradle, so, now the dragon dust must return to Nirvana, only in Nirvana, cannot delay his practice. When it comes to the exit, I will inject all my strength into the heaven and earth cauldron to fight with them. But I'm not sure if I can make it, but we have a chance. At that time, we can go together if we can. If we can't, whoever has the chance will go first. Longchen rode. Boss. Xia Chen and Guoran were surprised. If so, Longchen has the least chance to go. And at that time, Longchen exhausted his strength. In the face of so many terrorist strongmen, did he still have a chance to live? It's so decided. If I can't leave, you'll go first, go back to Niangshan, seize the time to save me, improve your strength, and then come back to save me. You don't have to worry about me. I'll be faster by myself. They can't catch me. Longchen rode. But? No, but sometimes, there are not so many choices at all. Longchen's serious tunnel. The dragon dust originally grasps two people. Suddenly the dragon dust released two people were left behind in an instant, but at this time, that huge door already arrived in front. Dragon dust holding the heaven and earth cauldron, the power of the soul burst into the heaven and earth cauldron. The heaven and earth cauldron was nourished by the power of the soul of dragon dust, and in an instant, it bloomed like the sun. The heaven and earth cauldron illuminates the whole world and the gate, reflecting the dense figure in front of the gate. When he saw those figures, Longchen felt a thump in his heart. From those figures, Longchen saw 8 horrors. They were 8 immortal strong men. Obviously, this time, Longchen's luck was not so good. Originally, Longchen thought that if there were 2 or 3 immortal strong men, he would have enough respect for them. I didn't expect that there were 8 immortal strongmen sitting here. The strongmen here had no transmission array or communication means. That is to say, they didn't know about the Chaos Eye, but there were 8 immortal strongmen blocking here. Obviously, they would never allow the 3 of them to leave the uninhabited world alive from the beginning. Damn Terran, do you want to escape? Dream when the dragon dust appeared, the spirits of those creatures were greatly boosted. An immortal strong man roared and flew straight to the dragon dust. A huge tiger claw smashed at the broken void. No, I met a fool. Longchen was surprised and angry, and his heart was sinking all the time. This immortal and powerful man was so stupid that he couldn't feel the power of the heaven and earth cauldron, so he killed him on his own. This is totally different from what Longchen expected. He thinks that the immortal and strong must know the goods. Even if they don't know the goods, they also have a keen sense. When they feel the terror of the heaven and earth cauldron, they should join hands to block the gate. As a result, Longchen miscalculated. Although the immortal and strong here are powerful, there are too many peaceful days and the sense of crisis is not sensitive enough. However, even if the sense of crisis is not sensitive enough, you can feel the terrible atmosphere of the heaven and earth tripod, but Longchen's luck is very bad. The other 7 immortal giants all felt a great sense of crisis and chose to defend instead of rushing. But there is a Leng Taoking, see dragon dust kill, so straight Lengleng ground rushed in the past, a hand is the strongest blow, want to kill dragon dust on the spot. Longchen was surprised and angry, but at this time, he had to send out. There was no room to retreat and change his moves. Idiot, go to hell. Dragon Dust gnashes his teeth, and the trend of heaven and earth tripod remains unchanged. With the blessing of Dragon Dust's soul, countless runes on heaven and earth light up, making heaven and earth tremble. Longchen can't control the battle of heaven and earth tripod, but he can only activate more runes by alchemy. Boom, with a loud bang, the heaven and earth tripod collided with the huge tiger's paw. The moment the tiger's paw touched the heaven and earth tripod, it burst into pieces. The immortal strong man's whole body was shocked, and the dragon dust pushed the heaven and earth tripod and hit his head hard. The immortal strong man's head exploded instantly, blood splashed and dyed the void red. Death! The dragon dust roars and smashes the immortal strongman of the demon family. Pushing the heaven and earth tripod, the dragon dust rushes forward to other immortal strongmen. The 7 immortal strongmen were both surprised and angry. At the same time, they joined forces to resist the heaven and earth cauldron of dragon dust. Boom! With a loud noise, 10,000 roads burst open, Long Chen snorted, and a mouthful of blood gushed. Because of the previous immortal strong man's obstruction, he finally failed to break through the blockade and was blocked. It's over, Long Chen's heart sank and his plan failed. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 43-23 The dragon dust was shocked to blood, and the 7 immortal giants were also shocked by the divine light on the heaven and earth cauldron to retreat a few steps. The heaven and earth cauldron in Longchen's hand is a heaven and earth cauldron, not a killing weapon. But even so, the immortal and strong will suffer a great loss if they fight with it. As soon as Longchen waves, he takes back the heaven and earth cauldron. He knows that he has only one chance. Now that he has lost the chance, he has to leave immediately, or he will die. In the dragon dust ready to take advantage of these strong in a state of shock, has not had time to encircle, will take Xiachen and Guaran escape. Cloud Dragon offering claws. At this time, the voice of the strong dragon came. What? Longchen was surprised. At this critical moment, the dragon strong man even let him continue to attack. The dragon dust gritted his teeth. Out of his trust in the dragon strong man, the golden dragon scale covered his whole body, and the loud sound of the dragon chant resounded through the world. Behind the dragon dust, the virtual shadow of the dragon appears, but this time, the virtual shadow is different from the usual. From virtual to real, it seems that there is really a dragon coming. Buzz, at that moment, his divine consciousness went deep into the universe, as if he saw a giant dragon hovering over hundreds of millions of stars. This is the second time I've lent you strength. Next, we will be apart for a period of time. In the future, you have to go by yourself. The dragon people are strong. Elder, Long Chen's heart is jumping wildly. He feels that something is not good. Hands on, the dragon strongman cheered coldly. As soon as Long Chen clenched his teeth, he stopped drinking Cloud Dragon offering claws. Buzz, in the virtual shadow behind the dragon dust, a dragon claw comes out. The dragon claw blocks the sky and the sun. As soon as it appears, 10,000 roads are torn, and cracks are dense in the void. It seems that the whole world will be broken by one claw. Escape! When they saw the claw of Longchen, those immortal strong men's faces changed greatly. They flew away like frightened rabbits. Boom! With a startling sound, the dragon's claws fell to the ground, and the space of 1,000,000 miles turned into nothingness in an instant. The 7 immortal giants, covered by the terrible waves, turned into blood fog one by one in the scream. Even the immortal strong cannot escape this claw, and the other strong disappear in an instant. Longchen himself was stunned. He borrowed the strength of the dragon strongmen to kill so many immortal strongmen. But he didn't have time to be happy. He felt that the breath of the dragon strongman had disappeared, and his spiritual connection with the dragon strongman had been cut off. Before, Longchen always had a feeling that the dragon strongman had been paying attention to him and was with him all the time, but at this time, it seemed that the dragon strongman could not see him. Master, master! Longchen yelled, But the dragon family strongman never responded to him, as if he had disappeared forever. At this time, Xia Chen and Guoran flew over. They were shocked by the blow of Longchen. Boss. All of a sudden, they find that the body of Longchen shakes and falls so soft. They help Longchen quickly. Two people check the body of Longchen, can't help but be shocked. Longchen gas if gossamer, a body essence, gas, God all consumed, in a serious overdraft state. Let's go, Xia Chen and Guoran dare not stay, holding Longchen to the gate. Xia Chen starts the array, and the three go down the river and disappear in an instant. In the boundless universe, on the sea of stars, a pair of huge eyes, originally shining, but now suddenly dimmed down. It's really a silly boy who makes people feel uneasy. However, I like this character. He has bet on you, so I'll follow him. The voice of the dragon strongman reverberates in the universe. Then its body suddenly shaking. In the moment of shaking, the whole sea of stars followed a shiver. When the line of sight is pulled away, you can see its body, tied with countless chains. Each chain is bound with a star. And above its head, there is a huge chain, straight into its head, the huge chain, straight into the center of the universe. There is a dark, nothing to see, like a devouring all the mouth. People feel panic and fear. This boy is really good. I thought he could only beat back those guys with the help of his strength, but I didn't expect to kill them directly, which proves that this boy's potential is amazing. However, he borrows a share of his strength, but I have to pay 10,000 shares. These damned vampires are still drawing Lao Tzu's strength. I'm going to sleep for a while. I hope that when I wake up, this silly boy can really grow up. That pair of huge eyes, slowly closed, the whole universe fell into a dead silence. Only the darkest place in the center of the universe seems to have strange energy in the flow, as if pregnant with terrible things. Xia Chen and Guoran rush through the gate and come to the Xinguang Challenge Arena, where countless strong people of all nationalities gather. When they appear, they are shocked. However, when they see the unconscious dragon dust, their eyes suddenly change and their hearts spread. It turns out that the dragon dust invades the uninhabited world. After being discovered by the strong people in the uninhabited world, it begins to block the gate. During the period of closing the gate, some immortal strongmen yelled at the Holy King State. The array arranged by Xia Chen was directly shattered. Because the crack of the door opened a little more than when Longchen entered, the creatures in Xinguang State could barely talk to the opposite side. Therefore, the strong in the world of no man began to understand the situation of nirvana through these creatures. In particular, some of the strong people of the demon, blood, and monster families know that the strong people in no man's land are of the same race with them. They just want to open the door and welcome them in. At the same time, these strong people also surrender to the forces of the uninhabited world. When the door is opened, they are willing to be pawns of the strong people in the uninhabited world. These strong people are very good at flattering. They are very good at flattering the strong people in no one's world. Sometimes they teach some superficial magic power through the gate. These supernatural powers have long been lost in the outside world, but they are superficial things for the strong in the uninhabited world. But for the strong in the outside world, they are peerless secrets. The strong people of all ethnic groups gather together and are waiting for the guidance of the strong people inside. The more they gather, the more the immortal strong people come. Now Guoran 3 people appear. These strong people are shocked. They have no dream. Longchen 3 people can escape. Kill them. When he saw that Longchen was in a coma, and only Xia Chen and Guoran were left, these strong men immediately showed their murders, and those half-step immortal strong men even made direct moves. Heaven has its way. If you don't go, hell will come and help you. Xia Chen's face was gloomy, and an ancient array disc appeared in his hand. As soon as the array disc appeared, the air of terror was diffused. Explosion, Xia Chen's hand array plate lightning generally flies out, falls in the crowd, bursts. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 43-24 The array disc is smashed, and the sword of Taoist rune shoots fiercely. The 3 half-step immortal level strongmen are directly cut into ashes by the sword of rune. The other half-step immortal strongmen didn't enter the attack core of the array because they were a little slow. Some of them were pierced by rune sword, while others were cut off, but they were not fatal. However, even so, these strong people were stunned and quickly regressed, while the strong people of other ethnic groups were even pale. They had never seen such a terrible attack. I'm not interested in wasting time with you. If you insist on death, I don't mind fulfilling your dream. I'm leaving now. If you want to die, you can stop one. Xia Chen sneers, and Guoran helps Long Chen to leave. Their speed is not fast. They try to leave time for others to attack. However, Xia Chen's attack directly killed 3 half-step immortal-class strong men, which scared everyone. How can they dare to attack? In fact, Xia Chen really wanted to kill all these creatures in one breath, but he was reluctant to give up. He has only a limited number of array discs from the uninhabited world. He will use one less. Before he has the ability to build them, Xia Chen doesn't want to use them. In addition, although the array disc is only the size of palm, it actually has its own space, which is inlaid with hundreds of chaotic spirit stones. That's why these array discs have such terrible lethality. Although there are a lot of chaotic spirit stones in Xia Chen's hands, you should know that these chaotic spirit stones are extremely precious in Nirvana. In Xia Chen's eyes, these half-step immortal-class strong men are not worth so much money. He doesn't want to waste them. In the panic eyes of countless creatures, Xia Chen and Guoran left with the help of Long Chen, and no one dared to make a sound. As soon as the 3 left, there was an unwilling roar inside the gate. It was obvious that the strong men who pursued Long Chen killed them. Unfortunately, they are a step late. Long Chen has fled back to Nirvana. They can only look at the gate to vent. But after venting for a while, they found that it was wrong. They found that the surrounding space laws had been destroyed, and they also found some stumps. At that moment, they were shocked. Long Chen, the great 9-star descendant, can you hear my call? In the endless darkness, the old voice sounded again. Why, every time you come to communicate with me when I am weakest? In the endless darkness, Long Chen murmurs. Because only when you are weak, can I feel your presence, because at this time, your heart is free of distractions, and you can hear my call. The old voice responded. Now I hear your voice very clearly. Is it because I'm at a high level, or because we're close? Long Chen asked. It's because we are close. I have sensed that you have entered the channel of 9 days. Our distance is further. The old man's voice was a little excited. 9 days passage? I entered the no man's world is the 9 days passage. Long Chen was stunned. I don't know what no man's world is, but I can feel that you have entered the channel of 9 days. You are now in the 8th day of the 9 days, Niangshan. You have just left the passage. In fact, if you go through that passage, you can enter the 9th day. The old man said. Long Chen's heart moved. The so-called 9 days and 10 places refer to the 9 worlds. There are barriers between the world and the world which separate the 9 days. And there are also high and low levels between the 9 days. From Minghaotian to Xianshan and then to Niangshan, Long Chen has been pounding to a higher level of the world. Before, Long Chen thought that Nirvana was the highest world in the 9 days, but he did not expect that Nirvana was only the 8th day, and the 9th day was the highest world. According to the old man, the uninhabited world is not a complete world, but a link between Nirvana and the 9th day. However, he did not find the entrance of the 9th day in the uninhabited world. What did he miss? Great 9-star heirs, I feel the change of the whole world. Countless 9-star heirs are rising like comets. The moment of our revenge is coming. The old man's voice suddenly became a little excited. Revenge? What kind of revenge? Long Chen asked. It's the blood feud of the 9 stars, and it's also an opportunity for the rise of the human race. Long Chen, the great descendant of the 9 stars, don't you realize your mission? Asked the old man. Mission? Long Chen was silent for a moment and said, I really didn't realize it. It seems that I have been teased by fate all the time. The guillotine of fate slashes behind me, forcing me to run forward desperately. Shouldn't every 9-star descendant will be in the 5-star battle body awakening, condense their own life star, will get? The old man's voice a little hesitant. That star? What's that? What will you get? Long Chen asked. The old man did not answer Long Chen, but muttered to himself, how can this happen? It shouldn't be like this. Master, please answer me directly. Long Chen's voice became serious. He wanted to know what secret was hidden in it. In fact, every 9-star descendant will wake up to his mission when he reaches a certain level. Because your missions are different, I don't know how to answer you. The old voice replied. Then who is your excellency, can you tell me? Long Chen asked. I'm the awakener of the 9-star descendant. I'm dedicated to awaken the sleeping 9-star descendant. The old man said. Then I ask, do you know the complete 9-star Patiju skill? Long Chen asked. Jiuxing Badiju is a natural skill. It's self-awakening step by step with the improvement of strength. Aren't you? The voice of the old man with surprise. There was a movement in Long Chen's heart, and he suddenly had a very strange feeling. Instead of answering directly, he asked in reverse, Master, can you tell me what the mission of the 9-star descendant is? I'm sorry, I'm just the awakener of the 9-star descendants. I have no right to guide you. You need to awaken yourself in all this. The old man apologized. I can only remind you that a great crisis is coming, that 9 days and 10 places are about to be destroyed, and that you are the last hope of the world. There is not much time left for you. If you don't accelerate your growth, it will be too late. There was a touch of anxiety in the old man's voice. If it was in the past, Long Chen would feel anxious and uneasy when he heard the old man's words, but I don't know why. Now he is much calmer than before. Long Chen didn't speak. In the endless darkness, it seems that he can make his thinking more clear, calm and wise. Please answer me a question. Who's Dante? Long Chen suddenly asked. You. How do you know Dante? Long Chen's inquiry seemed to make the old man extremely shocked, even his voice trembled. Please answer me. Long Chen asks aloud. Who, all of a sudden, the endless darkness disappears. When Long Chen wakes up from his coma, Yu Qingxian and Bai Shishir are pleasantly surprised. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4325, Long Chen, you scared us to death. Yu Qingxian and Bai Shishir are so beautiful and red that they have just cried. At this time, they are both surprised and delighted to see Long Chen wake up. I'm just in a coma. Long Chen said with a smile. Coma? You know, just now your breath and soul wave almost disappeared. Yu Qingchuan's voice choked with fear. Just now? Long Chen is surprised. Is it time to talk to the mysterious old man? Long Chen felt his state for a moment. He was shocked to find that he was as angry as a gossamer, his soul was very weak, and his whole body had no strength, as if he was dying. But strangely, his spirit is very good, and that extremely weak state, as he woke up, and rapid recovery. Between a few breaths, his soul began to fluctuate strongly and his strength gradually recovered. Is it the conversation with that person that consumes too much of my energy? Long Chen guesses secretly, but he is not sure. Seeing the red eyes of Yu Qingxian and Bai Shishir, Long Chen takes them by the hand and apologizes. I'm sorry to worry you. This action of Long Chen makes Yu Qingxian and Bai Shishir blush. Although Long Chen has pulled their hands in private, they have never been so intimate in front of others, and they are suddenly shy. Seeing that they are more beautiful than flowers, Long Chen's heart is melting. He reaches out and hugs their slender waist. As a result, they scream and instinctively avoid Long Chen's big hand. Bai Shishir blushed. I'll tell my parents the news that you wake up, so that they won't worry. With that, Bai Shishir ran away like an apple. When he ran, he blushed like an apple. Qingxian. Long Chen reaches out to pull Yu Qingxian. Yu Qingxian also blushes. Holding Long Chen's hand, she says in a soft voice, Well, you just woke up. Yuanshan is still weak. Take a pill and go to sleep. With these words, Yu Qingxian reaches out her jade hand and delivers the pill to Long Chen's mouth. When Long Chen opens his mouth, he eats it. However, his mouth is wide open. He mischievously bites Yu Qingxian's jade hand, which scares Yu Qingxian back. Such a big man is as naughty as a child. Yu Qingxian gives Long Chen a white look, but there is no reproach in her eyes. Qingxian, just beside me. You're beside me. I can sleep soundly. As soon as Long Chen takes the pill, he feels sleepy. Yu Qingxian's pill is more effective than his refined one. Well, you lie down first. I'll go to find the poem and come back. Well, stay by your side. Yu Qingxian gently smiles and lies down with Long Chen. Long Chen nodded and watched Yu Qingxian's shadow leave. He wanted to watch Bai Shishir come in, but soon he fell asleep. In a daze, he seemed to hear their whispers. The sound was like the sound of nature, which made him calm and warm. Long Chen sleeps soundly and sweetly, as if when he was a child, he cried in his mother's arms and fell asleep, full of security. Long Chen had a good sleep for 3 days and nights. When he opened his eyes, he found himself lying in Bai Shishi's arms. His head was on Bai Shishi's legs, his face was close to Bai Shishi's belly, and his nose was full of Bai Shishi's fragrance. No wonder dream back to childhood, sleep so comfortable. Long Chen want to reach out to hold Bai Shishir, but afraid she will push himself away. Although Long Chen wakes up, he still doesn't move. He pretends that he is still sleeping, but Bai Shishi's joking voice comes to his ear, not shy. Who, dragon dost suddenly understand, suddenly angry, open arms, suddenly embrace Bai Shishir. Bai Shishir exclaimed in surprise. She didn't expect that Long Chen would be so wild. When she was hugged by Long Chen, she felt very hot all over. She said in a trembling voice, "Don't make trouble. Let me go. I'm not shy anymore. Why should I let go?" Long Chen holds Bai Shishir in his arms and looks at Bai Shishi's panic and bewilderment. He says with a smile, "Don't make a fuss. Sister Qingxian is going to give you facial cleanser. She'll be back soon. It's not good for her to see it." While struggling, Bai Shishir is embarrassed and annoyed. Long Chen knew that Bai Shishir was thin-skinned and didn't dare to tease her too much, so he slowly released it. Although it was released, Bai Shishir was still pretty red, just like a ripe apple. "What are you looking at? People are sitting beside you. You're the one who's drilling into people's arms." Looking at Bai Long Chen with a smile, Bai Shishir is both shy and angry. Long Chen knew that Bai Shishir would be in a hurry if he went on like this. He quickly restrained his smile and sincerely said, "Thank you for worrying you." Seeing that Long Chen became more serious, Bai Shishi's face became better. He took a look at Long Chen and said, "You also know that we are worried about you. We don't discuss with us about such a big matter as Nobody's world. Do you still have us in your heart?" At this point, Bai Shishi's eyes were red again, as if she had been wronged endlessly. Although she tried hard not to cry, her tears still flowed down. "I'm sorry, I'm not good. I should discuss it with you. I promise to discuss it with you next time." Long Chen is in a hurry. In fact, Long Chen did not dare to discuss with them at all, because Long Chen knew that once he discussed, he had to take them with him, otherwise they would hardly agree with him to take risks. It's very dangerous to go to no man's world. Long Chen certainly can't let them take risks. The reason why he takes Xia Chen and Guoran is that he can't do it without them. However, Long Chen is a wise man. He doesn't emphasize the reason. He is questioned by Bai Shishir and admits his mistake directly. First, he coaxes them to talk about it. As for whether he brings it next time, he can only talk about it next time. Seeing that Long Chen admits his mistake directly, Bai Shishir suddenly feels much better. She understands Long Chen's temper, and it is very difficult for him to admit his mistake. This is also a great concession. It's a pity that Bai Shishir still doesn't know Long Chen well enough. Long Chen never gives in to outsiders, but to his own people, especially his beloved women, it's just like eating, and he's used to it for a long time. Long Chen reaches out to wipe Bai Shishi's tears, but Bai Shishir pushes his hand away. Bai Shishir is very angry. What's the point of wiping people's tears if you make them cry? A man should have a beginning and an end. Since he's provoked, he's responsible, isn't he? Long Chen said with a smile. Long Chen's pun made Bai Shishir blush. Just then, footsteps came from the door. Bai Shishir quickly wiped the tears from the corner of his eyes, pretending that nothing had happened. Sister, is the boss awake? I heard Bai Xiaole's voice from afar. Not yet. What can I do for you? White poetry is light and authentic. Long Chen alung, I wake up, but see Bai Shishir fiercely stare at him. Long Chen immediately dare not say a word. I haven't woken up yet. What should I do? Someone's coming to play. Bai Xiaole was disappointed. Suddenly Dragon Dust Waste Pain, can't help but exclaim, is White Poem pinched him. You. Whatever you are, you still pretend to be asleep when you wake up. Get up quickly. Bai Shidao. Long Chen looked at Bai Shishir in disbelief. I'll go. If you want to go, hurry up and don't dawdle. Bai Shishir looks at Long Chen's speechless face, and she can't help pursing her mouth and laughing bitterly. You're tough, Long Chen is to understand, this careful woman, this is revenge. He does not discuss with them to no one's revenge, the girl's revenge is too strong. Long Chen opens the door and says to Bai Xiaoye, let's go and take me to see who is so short-sighted and dares to come to my site to kick. If you don't beat his shit out today, I think his steel door is of good quality. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 43-26 With Bai Xiaole, Long Chen came to the reception hall of Lingshao Academy. This hall was just built. Although it is powerful, it is a little crude. Many details of the decoration have not been decorated yet. In the hall, hundreds of strong people have gathered, among which more than a dozen are strong people in the peak realm of the Fairy King, and the rest are all half-step immortal strong people. These strong people are all standing in the hall, accompanied by the strong people of Lingshao Academy. However, the strong people of Lingshao Academy are all from heaven, but there are no strong people like Bai Zhantong. On the way to Longchen, Bai Xiaole tells Longchen that these people are fierce and arrogant. He says that he is bringing his disciples to ask Longchen for advice. In fact, he is here to kick the hall. However, the high-level officials of the academy paid no attention to these people at all. They only sent some elders to perfunctorily say that everything here is decided by Longchen. President Longchen is sleeping and asked them to wait until President Longchen wakes up. And this group of people waited for 3 days. In the hall, they didn't even have a seat, and they almost got angry. After all, these people are all dignified figures of the major forces. They are semi-immortal. Everywhere they go, they are surrounded and admired by tens of thousands of people. Here, they are hanging in the air and can't even sit on the bench. These people constantly scold the reception elders of the academy, and the elders in charge of reception are also very helpless. They can only say that they have to wait. They don't know what the above means. They are worried about the existence of such a group of terror here. Here comes the dean. Seeing Longchen step into the hall, the elders, as if they had seen a savior, look forward to the stars and the moon. They are looking forward to you. Longchen and Bai Xiaole walk into the hall side by side, nod to the elders of the academy, and walk straight to the only seat in front of the hall. To the strong, Longchen doesn't seem to see it. When Longchen sits down, Bai Xiaole stands beside Longchen. They don't speak, so they quietly look at the strong. This group of strong people had been waiting for a belly fire. Now the dragon dust appeared again in such a posture. Suddenly the fire was more prosperous. What do you mean, I've been waiting for you for 3 days, but when you come, you don't even fart or apologize. It's surprising that Tangtangling Xiaxio Academy, known as the first academy in 9 days, doesn't even understand the most basic way of hospitality. At this time, an old man could not help but sneer. Guest? Are you guest too? A touch of irony appeared in the corner of Longchen's mouth. We have come all the way to visit, with sincerity and respect for Jiutian First Academy. Can't we be regarded as guests? If you can't count as a guest, what can you count as a guest? The old man cold tunnel, although the tone is polite with aggressive taste. There are many kinds of guests, and the most annoying one is called evil guest, that is, People who come with malice. The way of hospitality varies from person to person. How to treat a guest often depends on how the other party is a guest. When you come to Lingxiao Academy, you don't have to hand in the document of being a guest first. You don't have to pay homage to the door of the academy. You have 2 empty paws and don't even bring a gift. You use 2 big nostrils to see people all the way. Is that also called being a guest? You're so old you don't understand any rules. What? How old are you? I don't know how to be a guest, but I point out that others don't know how to be a guest. You have average strength, but you have thick skin. Long Chen sniffed. As soon as Long Chen opened his mouth, the elders of the academy almost clapped their hands and cheered. These 3 days, they have been ridiculed. These people are so arrogant that they can't like it for a long time, but they can only bear it. Long Chen's words made them speechless. It was like giving them a loud slap in the face. The elders immediately had a good time. You. The old man was very angry, but he didn't know how to refute it. After all, what Long Chen said was the truth. They didn't visit according to the rules. They were really caught by Long Chen. Long Chen had suffered a loss on Bai Shishir, but he was upset. He came with a stomach full of fire. How could he save face for them? Good morning, Dean Long Chen, old man. At this time, an old man with a pointed mouth and 3 long whiskers came out. He had a smart face and was not a good bird. This man is a think tank among the people. Although his strength is average, his position shows that he is one of the leaders. There's something wrong with your speech. Long Chen interrupted the old man directly. What's wrong with it? I'd like to hear about it. The old man's smile, not angry, light tunnel. You mean I'm good in the morning, not at noon, not at night? Only good morning. Are you cursing me? Long Chen cold tunnel. You. When Long Chen said this, the other elders were speechless. It's too reasonable. It's obviously a bone in the egg. On the contrary, it was the old man with a sharp mouth who didn't like it. Instead, he laughed and said, "Ha, what President Long Chen taught me is that I used wrong words and lacked rigor. Let me start over. Hello, President Long Chen, I'm from." What's hello? It means that I'm good alone, you're bad, they're bad, everyone else is bad except me. Long Chen interrupted the old man again. At this time, the old man's face changed a little. No matter how good his temper is, he can't stand this. The so-called handout not to hit the smiling face person, and the smiling face being hit is the most humiliating thing. Dean Long Chen, you're a little aggressive now. The old man said angrily. There's something wrong with that. What do you mean? I'm obviously raising a bar. Do you use the uncertain word, some, because I don't express it clearly enough? Long Chen asked. Poof, an elder of Lingxiao Academy couldn't help laughing. Knowing that it wasn't good, he quickly covered his mouth, but it still popped out. The other college elders, biting their lips, tried hard to keep them from laughing, but their bodies could not help shaking. After living for a long time, they have seen the world, but they have never seen such a scene before. They almost laugh crazy when they see that these powerful people are choked by dragon dust and want to vomit blood. They finally understand why the high-level officials don't show up and have to wait for Long Chen to wake up to deal with them. Sure enough, the villains have their own villains. Only Long Chen can deal with them. Dean Long Chen, the old man said angrily. Shut up. All of a sudden, Long Chen roared, just like the roar of a dragon. The whole hall was shaking. Even the half-step immortal strong man was shocked by Long Chen's voice for a moment. They were all startled. They didn't expect that Long Chen would suddenly turn over. They saw that Long Chen changed his previous cynicism, his face was gloomy, his eyes were full of murders, and he yelled, "Who sent you, and what good did it do you?" www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 43:27. What are you talking about? The old man's face changed greatly and he said angrily. Long Chen said with a cold face, "Don't play those useless routines with me. If you talk about routines, you guys don't deserve to carry shoes for me. I came out of Nobody's world, and so many people have seen it. It's very brave of you to come here to test Lao Tzu's reality. You. Shut up, I don't have time to talk nonsense with you. Under the banner of competition, I want to test whether I am seriously injured or dead. I have ulterior motives. If I don't have the identity of president of Lingshao Academy, none of you fools can leave alive. Long Chen shrieked. Although he didn't say a few words to them, Long Chen could guess their general purpose from their words and behaviors. Long Chen saw such things much more. What an arrogant tone. I don't agree with Jiang Song. How dare I fight? Among the crowd, a strong immortal king stood up and sneered. When the fairy king came out, Bai Xiaola was surprised. He was so confused that his breath was amazing. You collude with the strong outside, or how can you have such a strong chaos? Bai Xiaola was surprised and angry. Less nonsense, dare to fight? The strong man who called himself Jiang Song cheered coldly. After absorbing a few chaotic spirit stones, I don't know how many kilos I have? Long Chen called Humwei. He could see that Jiang Song had absorbed the energy of the chaotic spirit stone, and he had just absorbed it. He was full of chaotic qi, and he had not yet had time to fully fit with his body. It also absorbs the power of chaos, but Long Chen is different. The shield power he absorbs in the Eye of Chaos has been completely integrated into his body. When Long Chen falls into a coma, his body can't get nutrients, but enters a state of deep sleep, which can slow down consumption. Therefore, in Long Chen, others can't feel his chaos, so Jiang Song suddenly becomes arrogant. Because he absorbed the spirit of chaos, he felt that he had undergone earth-shaking changes, as if he had integrated into heaven and earth, and the whole world was under his control. It's not only him, but also the 10 strong immortal kings. Their breath is powerful and incomparable. The chaos makes them as if they are reborn. That's why they are qualified to stand in the dragon dust. Long Chen, are you afraid? The winner of the title of Holy King, dare not fight with me? Ha ha, if this spread out, I'm afraid your reputation of Long Chen will be plummeted. Jiang Song laughs and acts arrogantly. Bai Xiaola is very angry. This man is just looking for death. Although he doesn't absorb chaos, he thinks he can beat him, so he wants to teach him a lesson, but he is stopped by Long Chen. Every one of you has a photo jade with you, and it's all turned on. Who do you want to see your photo jade for? Long Chen Cold Tunnel. When we open the photo jade, we just want to witness the elegant demeanor of President Long Chen. What? Is that a problem? A fairy king's strong cold tunnel. Who, all of a sudden, the figure of Long Chen moves, and the whole person appears in front of the strong immortal king like a blink. The strong immortal king exclaims that it's too late to draw weapons, so he smashes Long Chen's face. Poof! But in the moment of his hand, a finger of Long Chen has penetrated his head and shattered his soul. In the fragments of his soul, Long Chen sees some pictures. Stab in the back, go to death. Long Chen suddenly kills people. These strong men are very angry. Jiang Song is closest to Long Chen. His sword comes out of its sheath, turns into a rainbow, and cuts it at Long Chen's neck. Bold, the elders of the academy were surprised and angry. When they saw that they had started, they had to do it. Then they were shocked. Click, Jiang Song's sword is cut heavily on Long Chen's neck, but his long sword is broken in two. Although his sword is not immortal, it is also a famous sharp blade. Even when he meets immortal, he has the power to fight for it. He treasures it as his life. At that moment, Jiang Song held the broken sword with a look of fear. His sword broke out with all his strength, without any reservation. As a result, Long Chen even disdained to resist, so his sword was broken. Isn't it good to live? Why die? Long Chen looks at Jiang Song, shakes his head and sighs. Boo! Jiang Song suddenly stabs Long Chen's eyes with a broken sword in his hand. At the same time, he steps back quickly and rushes to the door like lightning. Long Chen grabs the sword with his left hand, and with a flick of his right hand, a colorful light flies out. Jiang Songdun's body trembles and falls to the ground. People need to be in awe to live longer, don't you think? Long Chen looks at the half-step immortal strong man with a sharp mouth. Yes, Dean Long Chen is right. The great skill of the Dean is the blessing of the human race. The man hurried on, nodded and bowed, and no longer had the arrogance. Poof, just as he was talking, the broken sword in Long Chen's hand flew by, and the old man's head flew up in an instant, and blood spilled down the hall. There's so much nonsense. It's annoying. Dragon Dust Light Tunnel. Pudong. Just as the voice fell, the old man's head fell to the ground, and then his body fell to the ground. To everyone's horror, when the old man's head fell to the ground, the fire of his soul had been extinguished. The sword of Long Chen not only cut off his neck, but also killed his spirit. You know, even if the half-step immortal level's head was cut off, it was a slight injury, not fatal at all, but he died, and there was no room for resistance. Long Chen, what are you doing? We are just witnesses. Why kill people? These half-step immortal class strong people were flustered, and someone yelled. They were really flustered, because they were shocked to find that Long Chen was more terrible than at the Holy King's meeting. Although it was still a fairyland, the pressure on them at the moment of his hand made their souls tremble, and the threat of death was directly directed at their heart. This means that dragon dust can easily kill them, which they didn't expect before they came. Why kill? Then why are you provoking me? Why betray the human race and collude with the creatures of the uninhabited world? Long Chen's face is gloomy and his killing intention is surging up. From the fragments of that man's soul, he understood the whole story. The strong people in the no man's world began to tempt the Terrans to help them, sent out the chaotic spirit stone from the crack of the door, and promised to share all the treasures in the no man's world with the Terrans when the door opened. No one can resist the temptation of chaotic spirit stone. Under the heavy reward, there must be brave men. So, a group of brave men came to the academy with the photo jade. They planned to take the photo jade back to the school to show their loyalty and exchange more treasures. The reason why Long Chen killed so many people was that he remembered how the human race in the no man's world was destroyed. Traitors were the most hateful. Originally Long Chen only wanted to teach them a lesson, but now he changed his mind. Do you want to kill yourself, or do you want me to do it myself? Long Chen's voice was cold, just like the decree of death echoing in the hall. At that moment, the color of fear appeared on these people's faces. They saw that Long Chen wanted to kill them all. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4328, Boom, there was a big bang, the hall burst, and hundreds of figures flew out of the broken hall. In the dust and smoke, Long Chen's figure slowly emerged, his golden light slowly faded down, and his chi and blood slowly recovered. You are so vicious. A half-step immortal level strong, difficult to get up from the ground, pointing to the dragon dust, eyes full of fear and unwilling. Pudong, the half-step immortal strong man finished his words, and his body fell down in an instant, and there was no sound. Bai Xiaola stood behind Long Chen. He was shocked. He didn't expect that Long Chen suddenly put on a hard hand. The moment just now came so fast that he didn't react. It was over. At that moment, the dragon dust was just like the fury of the god. These half-step immortal strong men were just like mole ants in front of him. Did Dean Long Chen think about the consequences? At this time, a voice came, and Bai Lishan's figure appeared quietly. Grandfather. Bai Xiaola did not expect that Bai Letian was also in the branch. Long Chen turned to Bai Letian, shook his head and said, I can't think of any consequences. It seems that I'm still too childish. In fact, I'm not suitable to be a dean. What shocked Long Chen was that his chaotic chi was added to his body, and his sense was stronger than before, but he still couldn't see the cultivation of pure and happy days. No, you are very suitable. If I deal with it, I can't do it. I can't kill them, whether it's from the academy or from my personal feelings. Bai Letian walked to Long Chen and said with a smile, So, do you want me to be the villain? Though, I've never been a good person. Long Chen can't help but smile bitterly. Grandfather, you let my boss carry the pot. It's a bit out of the ordinary. Bai Xiaola is not satisfied. Long Chen doesn't carry the pot. Do you want an old man of my age to carry the pot? Bai Ledian said with a smile. Bai Ledian said to Long Chen, "How did you change your mind and suddenly want to kill them?" I was a little surprised. I thought you would teach them a lesson and let them go. Long Chen restrained his smile and became serious. I really don't care to kill them. I didn't want to kill them at first. But through their soul fragments, I know that they are bought by the living beings of the No One world. At that moment, I have to kill them. If they can be bribed once, they can be bribed a second time. They may not dare to deal with me, but they will definitely turn to deal with other people. Even if I let them go, they won't appreciate me. Even if they appreciate me for a while, they won't appreciate me for a lifetime. I let them go now, but when I am in trouble, they may not let me go. And the most important point is that I let them go to achieve my reputation of tolerance and magnanimity, but this will certainly lay the root of the disaster. In the future, I don't know how many innocent people will die in their hands. So, when I think about this, I change my mind. It's a bit like killing others without teaching. They'll swear on my back, but I don't care. Hearing this, Bai Ledian smiles a little, and a smile of approval appears on his face. He nods and says, "With the opening of No Man's world and the influx of chaotic chi, the laws of heaven and universe are changing. Some worlds similar to the uninhabited world are gradually emerging. Now it seems peaceful on the surface, but in fact, the undercurrent is turbulent and danger is quietly coming. And the most dangerous thing is our Terrans. Many people are short-sighted and can only see the immediate interests, but not the killing opportunities after the interests. Today's human race is in dire danger. These people are even bought by the alien race and driven by the alien race. They really deserve to die. Mr. Dean, you said that a world similar to No Man's world has begun to appear." Long Chen was surprised. Bai Ledian nodded and said, "Just after receiving the news, there are 2 mysterious portals in the southeast and northwest of Nirvana, and the air of chaos begins to flow into Nirvana. And Xianshan and Mingaotian also have news that there are ancient relics collapsing, chaos gas pouring in, and it is suspected that they are the gateway of the alien world. If so, the opening of the No Man's world is not the ultimate goal of the Holy King Assembly but—" Long Chen's heart jumps wildly. No Man's world is just a fire in a prairie fire. When this fire is ignited, Mars will spread all over the world. This is a big game. Fortunately, you have prevented the opening of the gate of the No Man's land. We still have time to deal with it. The way of heaven. Long Chen's heart was cold. Defanshan's chess game was too big. What did he want to do? In addition, Dean Long Chen, you'd better not leave the academy if you don't have any need recently. Bai Ledian is serious. But Bai Xiaola is puzzled. Niangshan, Xianshan, Mingaotian, with the information we have, many doors of the world will open. And what we don't know, how many, and other days must open countless doors to other worlds. It's said that there are strong people in the alien world who have broken into the territory for 9 days and caused countless murders. Now people are in a panic. The way of heaven. Isn't that a good time for us to raise our fame and eliminate the alien race? Bai Xiaola doesn't even want to say it directly. Long Chen shook his head and said, "You think too simply. The real strong will not risk coming to our world. They are waiting for the balance of the laws of the major worlds to advance to the king of the world at the first time. Only in this way can the visions of all people be in common in the 9 days and not be limited by the laws of the world. Therefore, these people are just making trouble. Even if they are killed, it doesn't make any sense. On the contrary, it affects our speed of improvement. There may even be some assassins who are specially aimed at Tianjiao in our world. If they are not careful, they will capsize in the sewer. The dean is afraid that I will be targeted by them." Bai Ledian has a smile on his face. He admires Long Chen for his wisdom. After all, Long Chen is so young that he can see so far away. It's not easy. When Bai Ledian left, the strong men of the academy came to help clean the battlefield and drag away the corpse. The collapsed hull could only be rebuilt. Long Chen's killing of so many powerful members of the human race is bound to cause an uproar, because Long Chen believes that when these people come to Lingshao Academy, there must be countless people secretly observing. Long Chen killed these people at least can also play a deterrent role. Long Chen want them to know, do traders need to pay a heavy price? If Long Chen allows them to leave, it will only encourage some people's arrogance and think that it's nothing to be a trader. It's a bad start. Come on, let's see how the chaotic array is arranged in the morning of summer. Long Chen and Bai Xiaola go straight to the back mountain of the academy. When they come to the back mountain, the chaos in the valley is full of air, and a smile appears on Long Chen's face. The Dragon Blood Legion is really going to rise. Are you ready, alien creatures? P.S. Sorry, I'm not in good condition today, only one shift. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 43-29 Buzz. When the dragon dust enters the valley, the rich air of chaos comes. Although it is not as rich as the aura in the eyes of chaos, it is several times stronger than the aura of no one. In the rich blessing of chaos chi, the dragon blood soldiers are sitting in it. They are absorbing chaos chi and have entered a settled state. Boss. When Long Chen arrives, Xia Chen and Guo Ran immediately put down their work and run over. How's it going? Long Chen asked. It's very good. It's better than we expected. My brothers rashly absorb such a huge amount of chaotic chi, but they don't feel uncomfortable. We are blessing the array to their physical limit. Guo Ran said. It's a pity that if it were Gu Yang and Li Qi, they would follow the boss into the eye of chaos. We are just tyrants. Xia Chen can't help but feel sorry. Any dragon blood warrior's body is much better than them, not to mention Gu Yang and others. They wasted the quota of chaos eye. Long Chen smiles a little. Some things can't be forced. When the three of them enter the no man's world, they can't bring any more. Only three of them can cooperate perfectly. It's a question whether one more person can come back alive. According to your calculation, how long will it take for the brothers to get close to saturation before they can start looting? Long Chen asked. If it's fast, it's half a month. If it's slow, it won't be more than a month. Summer Morning Road. Long Chen nodded, which was very fast, so that he would not fall behind others in the progress of cultivation. Now the door of the world has been opened one after another, and under the common law, it is now on the verge of advanced balance. I believe that in a few days, there will be strong people springing up like bamboo shoots to rescue. With the start of the rescue, it will further stimulate the opening of the door of the world. So it's very important to dare to rob before the door of the world is opened. According to the progress of the Dragon Blood Army, there is no problem at all. But boss, we have another problem. Guo Ran said. What's the problem? That is, there are many brothers who have not entered the 3000 world without dragon blood nourishment, and the power of dragon blood forging is extremely weak. Xia Chen and I collected some dragon blood secretly, but the power of these dragon blood is not ideal. Dragon blood training is the foundation of the brothers' resonance. If this aspect is uneven, it will be a very big problem in the future. Guo Ran said with worry. This problem has been bothering him for a long time. When the Holy King's meeting is over, he and Xia Chen have been trying to find a way to get the powerful dragon blood. Huayuan Business also strongly supports it and has brought in a lot of dragon blood. However, compared with the dragon blood they have absorbed in the 3000 world, it is still much worse. What's more, the amount of dragon blood is very small, only enough for dozens of people to absorb. If they all absorb different essence blood, then they will be in a mess. Just yesterday, they received news from Huayuan Commercial Bank that there was no real dragon blood essence in the warehouse of Huayuan Commercial Bank. If they want to collect it, they need to purchase it on a large scale. However, the large-scale procurement is time-consuming, so Guo Ran put forward his worries. Originally, this kind of thing should be solved by them. They can't let dragon dust worry about everything, but they really can't help it. Dragon blood, dragon dust also began to worry. At this time, where does he get dragon blood? It's the best way to get dragon blood now because it's going to be robbed soon. With the help of the power of natural calamity, dragon blood can be better integrated into the body, mixed with chaos, and can exert its power to the extreme. All of a sudden, Long Chen's eyes lit up. He gritted his teeth and said to Xia Chen and Guoran, "You go ahead and I'll come." With these words, Long Chen left. When he appeared again, he came to the Lord of the Temple. "You want my blood essence?" The Lord was stunned. When Long Chen saw the Lord, he was startled. The Lord's breath was up and down, like the tide. Standing in front of him, Long Chen was oppressed by his breath. "Lord of the Temple, you are immortal?" Dragon Dust exclaimed. He was shocked to find that the Lord of the Temple had advanced. "I was just a step away from immortality. When the chaos came in, I went straight to the next level. However, my promotion is a secret of the Academy. Don't mention it to anyone. I'm waiting for those who don't have eyes to come to me. The Lord of the Temple is humane." Long Chen's heart is jumping wildly. The Lord of the Temple has just been promoted to immortality, but his breath is more terrifying than those old immortality heroes in No Man's World. At first, Long Chen was a little worried, but when he saw the Lord of the Temple, he immediately realized that he was a little worried. Even if all the strong men in the No One World came to attack Lingshao Academy, there was nothing to be afraid of. "Lord of the Temple, my brothers, they practice dragon blood forging. Now there is a fault in their cultivation. I'd like to ask for a few drops of blood essence from the Lord of the Temple. With your blood essence as a guide, I can consolidate their dragon blood refining skills again. I don't know if it's convenient for you, Lord of the Temple." Long Chen is a little nervous. The Lord of the Temple is not mean, but he is a dragon after all, and the dragon is very proud, and he attaches great importance to his own blood. Therefore, he is not sure whether he can come or not. "It's okay for me to have some blood essence, but because I've just been promoted to immortality, my blood essence is extremely violent. Are you sure they can absorb it? If one can't be done well, it's going to be a big deal," the Lord warned. Listen to the main hall did not refuse. The Dragon Dust, suddenly delighted, hurriedly said, "The Lord of the house is assured. The boy knows the alchemy of the operation, can be rid of the power of violence, leaving the essence." Hearing what Long Chen said, the Lord of the Temple held out his big hand and his fingers were like hooks. Buzz, blood-colored lightning diffused among them, and then a small blood bead appeared, which was only the size of a grain of rice. However, when it appeared, the hall where they lived roared and thundered, as if this small blood bead could destroy a world. The blood bead gradually becomes larger and expands continuously from the state of rice grain. When it grows to the size of an egg, the space begins to twist. It is like a compressed star. Once its power is released, the world will explode into nothingness. Enough, Lord. Long Chen is in a hurry. It's blood essence. It's very precious. Long Chen only needs a few drops. He uses these drops to improve the essence of dragon blood refining skills of dragon blood soldiers. Long Chen didn't dare to improve the strength, because the consumption of blood essence was too much, so precious blood essence, Long Chen didn't dare to speak. But unexpectedly, the Lord of the Temple suddenly condensed hundreds of drops of blood essence, and the Dragon Dust suddenly panicked. "I'm not that stingy. You did me a favor at the beginning, and I'll pay you back." Finally, a fist-sized blood cell appears in front of Long Chen. Looking at the blood cell, Long Chen is so moved that he can't speak. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.